Okay, and welcome to the proceedings. Welcome to the big show. I'm your host, CW Chanter. For the usual CW Chanter antics, though not on the usual CW Chanter channel, we are in fact on the I am the one who works here now alternative channel. Spooky. First in the live chat, congratulations and gold medal to they. Jonacide, grabbing that silver. All right. As the room fills up, as people join us, we're going to try to build up this alt channel. I think that's the current plan of events. David Bucky, look, we got. Hey, let's make a break for it. Forget these guys. Jonacide going over, grabbing, showing some initiative, grabbing that gold over on Twitch. David Bucky over here, grabbing that bronze over here on YouTube. Good to see you over here, David Bucky. So we already got the gold grabbed over on Twitch. We're over here getting, yeah. Oh, it's StreamYard. It's StreamYard, baby. It's StreamYard. So it's just CW Chanter over. It's just the we just switched out the it just switches out the YouTube account, right? Yeah. Yeah. It just switches out the YouTube account and just, boops it over on the old usual antics over there on Twitch. So yeah, hey, it's what we're doing tonight. Will it be what we're doing tomorrow? Who knows? Doesn't matter. The main channel was demonetized many, many moons ago. It's got the 5,000 subscribers. That seems to be the kind of where it's going to be, where the ceiling is. And like I said, it was demonetized. So where are we going with that? It could be we could apply for remonetization if I go ahead and clean out all the objectionable content. A Herculean task, and considering that we've been at that channel since 2015. That's many years, and we were doing sometimes daily unhinged, loose experimental content, live improvised content, often in an excited and aggravated state, being egged on and provoked by an equally excitable audience. Let's just say that going through those tapes, those archives to, you know, try to figure out what might be objectionable to Susan and the quality control bots over at YouTube might not be worth the time, energy, and effort. It might just makes more sense to see if we can take this all channel, which has its bearings, it has its subscriber number, and see if we can do what we can over here. And considering that people have voted, look, we like the old stuff, we don't like this new stuff. Though I say to the audience, folks, you might be shooting the messenger here, because I've said it before. And we say hello to Omar Carano, we say hello to the elephant in the room, we say hello to Brando. I know you want to party like it's 1969, right? But it's 1977, right? The music has changed, the tunes have changed, and the drugs have changed, and those bell bottoms are not going to get you laid, Freebird. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell you, right? Don't know what to tell you. Wouldn't it be great? Man, they don't write them like they used to, man. Yeah, I get it. You know? Back in the day, guys were guys, gals were gals, right? Yeah, I get it. But, times change. And we got to deal with the present set of circumstances. The present set of circumstances are it ain't 2015, 2016, 2017, or whatever that was, whatever that rocket ride was. It's right about 2022. Whatever optical illusions, delusions people were playing with, fantasizing about Donald Trump being the secret space program, hyperdimensional alliance, Orion Council, line them up, Scotty, transdimensional, fifth dimension. It's about to happen with the Buanon connection thing, whatever. Whatever dream Bodani thing you were people in conspiracy theory land were playing, dreaming about, pointing their finger at me, saying, "You're going to feel so stupid. You're going to feel so sorry when we're vindicated." And what were they thinking was going to happen? I guess a lot of these people were true believers, and I feel bad for those guys. A lot of these people at the top were probably thinking. A lot of these people weren't thinking, because hey, I can tell you something. I know a lot about the mentality of people who are juking and jiving, right, on a high, not willing to come down, and not really caring about who they hurt as long as they stay up because they're addicted to, that ride, and they're going to keep riding until the bottom falls out, until they crash. And some people have absolutely crashed, right? There were some players on the field that have duked out a long time ago, right? And there's some people that are still holding on. And you could see, right? It's like the sinking of the Titanic. The people that drown out first are the people on like the lower decks. And the people that are going to hang on desperately, right, are probably the people that are like invested. Do you know what I mean? The ship's not sinking because the ship ain't sinking, because if the ship sinks, I'm sunk, right? Maybe some of those people kept on saying that they were talking to people on the inside of the working structure of Buanon so much, they maybe started to think that it was true. You feel bad for certain people. There's certain people that I, believe, probably believed even guys like Peter, PP. That guy, probably believed PP. And my guy probably believed the hovercraft guy. The guy's probably sitting out there in that big house in Colorado. And I think the lady left. And I might look like a sucker at the end, because at the end of the day, I was the last guy. Look, what happened to me last round? Last round on Jay Essex, I was saying, I think Jay Essex is really dead. I think Jay Essex is really dead. And he comes back with 6 videos, fitness a fiddle, doing fine. All I know is that Emery Smith told me to my fucking face, laughing about it, that David turned to him, panicked, fucking panicked, on a plane, because David realized that Emery Smith David Wilcox, and I think some fucking minor guy like Grant Cameron or someone were on the same plane headed from like for what? Like from fucking Colorado to fucking California. And David Wilcock was apparently Emery Smith took a photo on his cell phone and showed me because he thought it was funny. Because David Wilcock looked like the photo you take of your friend when he's fucking bugging out on too much caffeine, right? We're out here at this party, man. My friend Dave's bugging out on too much caffeine. Dave, how you doing, man? 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 F- Fine, man. What's up? You sure you okay, man? No, I'm good. What's up? Are you okay, man? Are you okay? No, good, good. Can you move your hand? What do you mean, can I move my hand? Can you move your hand, Dave? What the fuck? Dave. Right. Showing me a photo of his fucking buddy, like fucking boomed out, like crazed. And I'm not saying that Dave was on too much caffeine. I'm saying that the comedic effect was that this dude was fucking panicked because he thought it was a possibility that the cabal was going to friggin' want to take the plane out of the air. The What's the $1 million question on that guy all the time? Is he a true believer? He may be. He may actually believe this stuff. And consequently, this dude may be taken for a ride every friggin' left turn this guy makes through friggin' life. What happens to the true believer? You're talking to what do I tell you about my life? I was involved in Christian consciousness, the Church of Science, Church of Scientology, Church of Satan. Became this, you know what I mean? Believe you me, I've got more than a few friggin' pamphlets from the friggin' LDS. Do you know what I mean? Seekers seek until they find, and they find themselves in some fucked up situations. You know what I mean? My heart goes out to a lot of people. But anyway, and then you wonder, and you get angry about telling people about security, whatever. What did this guy believe? What was this guy told? Do you know what I mean? Like there's fantasists and there's people who believe. So there's true believers and there's bullshitters. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the differences and how do we handle and how do I talk about people. Maybe I should also, I got to watch my language because we were talking about people, people believe things and I don't want to panic anybody. I don't want people to feel targeted and I don't want people to feel upset. So if I talk about Penny Bradley, I'm talking about someone who I think is a true believer, but I'm talking about someone who I don't think is telling the truth. I don't think Shane is telling the truth. We meet people like in our lives all the time who tell exaggerated stories. It's not as though, when I came to the world of YouTube, secret space program people, it was the first time that I encountered people who were telling outrageous stories about being involved, in military campaigns or being, Navy SEALs or I can't tell you, where all I can tell you, man, is that we can go on this run and you're safe with me. Just don't ask me why you're safe. And I'm like, okay, cool, man. I won't ask you. I'm like, I don't give a shit because I know where we're fucking going. And the guy we're meeting is cool. So like, whatever bullshit you're thinking that I'm going to start a conversation with you about is cool because you know what I mean. It's just a couple of sheets and it's not going to be a big deal. So whatever. It's like, so don't ask me, and it's like, don't worry about it, guy. I'm not going to ask you. And it's gonna be like, because it's top secret, you know what I mean? And they burn my fucking papers, and I don't exist according to the government. But then the guy that was my fucking handler disappeared, and then there I was, behind enemy lines with no way home. Yeah, okay, you know what I mean? And I'm working the security job because as long as I was gonna be, you know, out of commission, I had to stay, in shape in case something ever came up. Or you don't know, man, we're on the brink. We're always on the brink. Uh-huh. Okay, whatever, man. Or the gal, you know what I mean? She's scanning your items at, the supermarket. And she's, you got a band shirt on, and all of a sudden she starts up a conversation with you about, she's a classical pianist, and she was gonna go to Juilliard, but her mom got sick. I'm so, it's so unfortunate, but she played Carnegie Hall, and you know, maybe you see her like, still there 2 years later, and maybe she says something else, and you just realize like, oh, she's the gal that works at the supermarket and makes up stories, or the guy that works at the bar, or hangs out at the bar. We always know people like this. You went to high school or went to camp with a guy like this. Fantastic stories. My Canadian girlfriend, right? You know what I mean? Like there's just stories. Penny Bradley, we're gonna play the video by her. She seems like a great gal. But I've been through this. We've covered this. And here's the thing. It's a spill the tea video, and we're gonna cover it because it's a spill the tea video about guys and gals in the community. And it's one of the last ones. I tell people all the time, but I'm not, these people have stopped uploading. The people that we used to cover, the scene has gone away. Donald Trump lost the election. The whole QAnon thing blew up. People became too invested in that. Everyone in the scene, so many people in the scene became so infatuated with this crypto thing that crapped the bed. So everybody's investors and whales, panicked. Lord knows how many people got swept up in January 6th. You don't even know how many people may have gotten swept up in January 6th from the whole QAnon connection thing, or who are laying low because they're panicked, or just waiting for stuff to die down so they can come back up because their psychic predictions were so tied in with Donald Trump and all that jazz. They're just waiting so they can come back and reinvent. But they got to die down for a while. So until then, we'll spend some time with Penny Bradley. And like I said, 2015 to 2000, a lot of that stuff was also the artificial thing of the interference of Gaia turning, one of these random guys into a minor celebrity. And when the whole case is over, I can tell you what I know about literally how much money they had to invest and how artificially propped up that whole thing was. It's bot views. The artificial, you know what I mean? It's all just beyond bot views. It's just the metaphor of bot views, just pay to play, artificially created hype. Artificially created hype, and we see the results. When the circus leaves town, oh baby, the circus leaves town. And the circus has left town. Let's play the Penny Bradley video. You'll see. We'll go. You want to see what's after the circus leaves town? It's Jay Essex, it's Ivan Teller, and it's Penny Bradley. It's this size stuff, and nobody can recognize this size stuff. And we can talk about it, but people will say I'm punching down. Maybe it will inspire me to be a nicer, kinder guy. I tried to watch this to just, to kind of take notes, and it's not a take notes video. I just kind of got to watch it. If it turns into a part two, it'll turn into a part two. We might start it, begin it, and say just maybe it won't even work as me trying to cover a video. I broke my microphone, so I don't have, if we have audio issues or if there's feedback, you're going to have to let me know. Okay? Let me take a quick look at the live chat before we start watching the video, and then we'll get going. Again, we're on my alternative channel. I'm the one who works here now, so if you're not regularly a subscriber to this channel, make sure to subscribe. If you could do me a favor and make sure to spread this channel around, it would be greatly appreciated. It would be. We're trying to build this channel up to see if we can get it monetized, so I can return to the love of the monetization and all that wonderful, wonderful stuff. It just makes it so much a better, fun time experience. You know what I mean? It'll be great. There you go, Spooky. Absolutely, pizza stays the same. Evoli Pizzeria is the only pizzeria in town worth knowing about. Evoli Pizzeria, you gotta love it. Evoli Pizzeria. Brenda, the 12 Days of Chanter was a good run. Hey, listen, you know what I mean? All of that feels spooky. All of that feels like a lifetime ago. But I was talking about this, not to toot my own horn, but to toot my own metaphor. Whenever I start speaking, I feel as though I get hot, and I don't know if it's that I get excitable or if it's, or I always attribute it to this lamp, but I don't know if it's just like the psychology of the lamp, if it's like the psychology of the light, like the light, light evokes the heat of energy or whatever. I don't know. Who knows? Anywho, back to the subject at hand. What was the subject at hand? I'm distracted. Yada yada. We'll find it in time. We'll see what happens. Um, let me do this. Let me do this. So, psychotronic light. Yes, it's whatever. Well, yeah, it's the self-fulfilling prophecy of the lamp, a Homer Simpson novella. There you go. Anyway, now I'm really distracted. Someone mentioned the Homer Simpson. Oh, the 50. If you look, so I was for the last several months, I was not time traveling using the 20-year nostalgia loop to go back to 2002. I was obsessively using my chrono magic, my patented chrono magic technology, patent pending, patent pending, patent pending. If you crazy super freaks in the super secret safe space program think you've got some sort of like lockbox or trademark on the woo, forget you. You know what I mean? I got you beat. Anywho, I've been using my patented chrono magic to look at 2015, the origin point of my channel and the origin point of so many people. Like that's when the Ruiner blog started. That's when, the guy who sued me really started to pick up steam in 2014 and 2015. That's when that whole cosmic channel that show started, whatever it was, whatever. And Ivan Teller started his channel. Just so many things started then. It was incredible. And so we started talking about it. Now here's what's so interesting. I've been looking at a lot of unrelated stuff on YouTube, and a lot of it seems to me what's going on in YouTube culture now is there's a lot of like digesting of, well, maybe this is just me, like digesting of lolcow history. And what's interesting to me is there seems to be a lot of emphasis on the years 2015. Mr. Snowflake has been covering Amberlynn Reed, Nikocado Avocado, and Foodie Beauty. In all three of these series, he has simultaneously hit the no. In two of these series, for Amberlynn Reed and Nikocado Avocado, he's really hit 2015 in the timeline. Foodie Beauty, he's covering, her recent. No, I think he said this 2015 for her too. I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then I saw for another person, Geno Samuels just came out with the latest installment of his comprehensive Christian documentary. And I shit you not, brothers and sisters, I think he's on like around 2015 as well. I might be mistaken because, the mind does funny things. But anyway, just funny stuff. Funny stuff. Anyway, let's get to the video. We'll be here all friggin' night. No, you didn't. Listen, here's the horse lover fat says the title of the show, was it already discussed? Am I late? Did I miss the tea? You rarely miss anything if you're late. If you're late, you're probably on time. We're 24 minutes and 53 seconds in, which means you've missed nothing. There you go. So look, this is a video that I've been threatening to cover for now. Oh, it's only been 10 days. The mind does funny things with you. This was a video that was uploaded on June 14th, 2022, called Naming Names, on Penny Bradley's Nachtwaffen. What the name of her channel is, Penny Bradley Nachtwaffen Pilot. Nachtwaffen is some sort of, like, I guess, German derived element of the secret space program. Or splinter of it. I don't know all of the Penny Bradley lore. I was a pretty in-depth follower of James Rink's Secret Space Super Soldier Talk channel, and his lore got like crazy in depth. But it was crazy because in order to follow it, you had to be able to take all of your Resident Evil and Marvel Universe lore and World War II history and be able to simultaneously hold on to it and then dismantle it and then be able to apply it and like reconfigure it into his private universe. It was like an alternative history kind of thing that incorporated freely aspects of actual world history, aspects of conspiracy theory history that were or were not possibly true, and total lifted aspects of total fiction from the worlds of Resident Evil, including the Umbrella Corporation and X Files, like the Purity virus and shit, and like the Marvel universe, like, like the Hulk. One of his friends, I think, was even would it has been in my live chat, a woman named Veronica, who has claimed to be able to turn into some sort of literal She-Hulk. She's been interviewed on Penny Bradley's channel. She's also, I saw her on on Super Soldier Talk with what's his face, James Rink, where she talked about they reminisced about a late night conversation where she talked in dolphin talk, and I was like, I would pay so much money to hear that. That sounded incredibly. I will be completely honest. Well, let me not go into it. Anyway, let's get to the Penny Bradley naming names. She throws everyone under the bus. I think this is going to be a case study. I want to keep my head straight. I don't want to get too carried away because I want to be as professional as possible. Here's Whores Lover Fat says Penny is open and out about having dissociative identity disorder, and Pages of Alters makes it harder to critique. It actually doesn't, because I'm going to be completely honest with you. Dissociative identity disorder is not in the DSM-4 manual. It really doesn't exist. Her claim to have it is suspect because no, you can't be diagnosed with that, really. Okay, and having alters is a claim that she has. I'm going to critique her because, quite frankly, I think her stories are suspect, and I think it brings up a good point, because this is something that I've tried to do in the past. And what I tried to do in the past that didn't work was nice guy it. This happened with my interview with Derek Tyler. Derek Tyler is another guy like Penny Bradley who's a nice guy, who, just like some of the people I've criticized, has a story that I absolutely don't believe. I don't believe in his story of alien abduction, going to secret military underground bases, and the like. His stories are just as fantastical and outlandish as the stories of Randy Kramer or the guy who sued me, or Emery Smith with the fantastical alien autopsies and all this stuff. The stories are just absolutely unbelievable for me. I just do not think there is any reason to believe these guys are doing anything other than just making up stories in a world of people who are just willing to accept anything because they want to believe everything. Honestly. So this is a world where the special people that I described in the supermarket, who in their everyday world, in the everyday world, are just kind of laughed off and shrugged off, have found a special little world where people will just believe each other and just believe themselves and will allow each other to lie to each other. Now listen, when I get here and I describe people like this, and I used to try nice guy, I just say, wow, and you just say, okay, and I, wow, and I'll just, wow, that's not happening. I don't really think that that's happening, and well, maybe, and you just try and say, you just try and do everything you can to avoid saying, I think, you do everything in your power to not say to the person anything that would lead them to believe what you really think about them, which is that they're doing something pathetic. They're doing so, we don't describe lying as a wonderful activity. We don't describe someone making up fantastical stories about themselves that didn't happen. We don't describe that as a laudable activity. That's a that's like a, you know, a lovable loser at best. It's hard to present myself as a sympathetic critic or a nice guy that, you know, Penny should feel happy that I'm talking about her video. What I'm saying, Penny, I don't believe you. I don't believe any of this. I think a person would be a fool to believe this. I think this is a sad state of affairs. All I can do is not be cruel about it. But it's not kind. And I've realized over these 7 years, it's not kind to nice guy it, because you know what happened when I nice guyed it with guys like Derek Tyler and guys like Shane or whatever. When I just did everything in my book with the true believers that I've contacted or spoken with over the years, have sent me emails or nice letters and stuff, where I just nice guided and I didn't say, you know what, all this bullshit you're saying, I think it's total bullshit. It just led to misunderstandings and feelings of being misled. Until one, I finally couldn't take it anymore, and I just had to say, listen, listen, listen. The reason I haven't done this and the reason I haven't done that, the reason I haven't had you back on the show, or the reason I haven't interviewed you, is because there's no reason to fucking interview you. The reason I haven't read your fucking 200-page essay, the reason I haven't done this, the reason I'm not going to represent you in your case against F. Murray Abraham for stealing your fucking identity and fucking whatever, it's because this is fucking insanity. I love you. You're a human being. God bless you. But you're a fucking crazy person. God bless you. That's what happens when you're a nice guy, when you don't tell the truth, when you're not honest. So I'm going to be honest. Penny Bradley is a fantastical, wonderful little old lady by her own admission, a fat little old lady by her own admission, using her own words, former employee of Target by her own words, on SSI by her own admission, multiple back surgeries by her own neck surgeries by her own admission, on disability, loving husband by her own admission. God bless her. Who doesn't make any money from this, spends her own money on it, her own SSI check to do her internet radio show and do her YouTube channel. God bless her. God bless her. But I think she's doing what she's been doing probably since elementary school. Making up fantastic fucking stories that never fucking happened so that people will pay attention to little Penny Bradley. And I bet you, I don't know this for sure because I'm not from Penny Bradley's hometown. I don't know Penny Bradley. I could be wrong. But I bet my bottom dollar that if you knew Penny Bradley, if you're from Penny Bradley's hometown, they'd say, I know Penny Bradley. And if they knew Penny Bradley from elementary school, they'd say, Penny Bradley's always been fucking Penny Bradley. And she was, when she was in elementary school, she was the princess of Siam. And her dad was a spy from Russia, and she was this and that, and she had $1 million, but she lost it. And the only reason she's still working at Target is because her husband was this. Because she's told stories. Her former husband was a mafia hitman, and we've all known gals like this. Not bad people necessarily. If I say compulsive liar, that's like, like such an ugly way to say it. So if I say fantasyist, is that a better way to say it? But whatever. It is what it is. I hope she doesn't strike my channel. It'd be lame. She could do a copyright claim against me, I guess, because I'm going to use a lot of her video. I'm just going to play it. But I put hashtag signal boosting and hashtag mic check in the description box below for a reason. If this information is valuable enough to Penny that she made this video, I'm going to say, Penny, I'm covering this video, and part of my justification for covering this video is signal boosting, which means that if I do this, if I cover and discuss your information that you bring forth in this video, this is this information being repeated. Even if it's being editorialized by me, it's still the information being repeated and being put out there again for people to hear, maybe for the first time, and or maybe for the second time with another spin on it, possibly to contemplate again. Therefore, the information that you want to get out there is getting out there. So therefore, having my video out there helps, doesn't hurt your information campaign. One reason you might want to leave this video up unmolested, not assuming that you would do anything, just prophylactically, preemptively, just putting some arguments out there. Okay. Number two, just in the spirit of, free speech. You know what I mean? Hey, you know what I mean? Like, hey, why not? You know what I mean? I'm just offering another opinion. I'm going to do my best. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do better than my best. I'm not going to try. I'm not going to try to try. I mean, there is no try. There's only do. Penny, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be a good boy. You deserve it. I'm going to, I think you're sincere. I think you believe it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know, you know what I mean? Like, it is what I don't know yet, but you know what I mean? Like, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll be good. I'm trying to be a jerk to you, you know? There you go. I'm sure you would know. I'm sure you would know. No, hey, we've all got words. And like I said, and here's the other thing. Her testimony is her testimony. Do you know what I mean? Fair use, fair use, fair use. The purpose of this video is editorial review. If this information is correct, look, this is a small community. This could be considered a small community newspaper. This could be considered a mimeograph reproduction of a small newspaper that came from a smaller, town next door, right? This is not mainstream media. We got to do our own work here. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Let the signal be boosted. Let the information go forth. This is newsworthy information. No one's going to cover it but us, right? Okay. So there you go. Also, it's a transformative work. I will be discussing and talking over it. Portions of the video used, I will do my best to excise portions that are not necessary. I will. Okay. And again, that no portion of this, no part of this broadcast is intended to, be bonerific or intentionally, douchey to any other party. I swear to God. Well, fair enough. As an atheist, I don't believe it, but it's an expression. But you know what I mean? Like, I swear, I'm not. I have no intention to be Penny. I have no intention to be jerky. I really don't. You know what I mean? Like, I like if I had the choice between being hanging out with a couple of good fantasiists, at least you come up with good narrative, or some jackass like the guy who sued me. At least you come up with good narrative. This guy is not even a fantasyist. He's just a jerk. Honestly, he can't even come up with a good story. You can't. You can't even come up with a good story. I can come up with a good story. I come with a couple of good stories. Here's one. Watch this one. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'll save it for complaining about my hippo. That's a strange thing to say, Charles Williamson. Oh, I want a pet goat to compliment my hippo. I thought you said complaint about your hippo. I don't know what's about my mind. Naming names. Penny Bradley, come on down. Share screen. Share system audio. If we have problems with the audio, let me know. We'll be bound. There'll be nothing we can do about it. We'll be screwed. If this works.
I have something serious to talk about today. I have made a post about it in Facebook and an extended post in my Patreon. And after all this time that I've been public, I'm going to name names today.
And I might as well take this point to say that, whatever she says, I am presenting her video and her information as her information in her video. This is not an endorsement. This is not me saying that what she's saying is correct. In fact, when I say that this is going to be a case study, a lot of what I think is interesting about this video is, her claims, via, standards of proof, because a lot, and also it's like, a lot of the things that she's going to end up doing is she's going to end up accusing people of doing things to her that I'm going to argue, hey, Penny, if you think about it, I'm not saying that your motivations weren't correct, but if you think about it, if some of the things that you're saying that people have done to you, technically you're doing that to them right now.
I have been advised not to. In fact, some of the people have been rather pushy about not to. I have to wonder about their motives for trying to silence me about this.
Now, here's the other thing. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So she's like so this is like, it's a character study. When you do a character study, I don't know, right? You come up with assumptions about people, presumptions about people, and you got gut instincts. And before you know it, your gut instincts is telling you, things about about did Charles make an appearance? Oh no, Charles Williamson. Oh, there you go, there you go. Oh, sorry. But this is like, how about this? People don't want you naming names because who knows what their motivations were? How about because people knew that shit talking on the internet was going to get you in trouble because they knew there would be like, a response? Or how about it's not like the greatest look? Or come on, man, or this is just going to start internet beef, or this is not going to look good, or from a promotional aspect, or this is going to hurt us from a networking perspective. There can be like so many reasons, but like, of course, but this is exactly like this is not necessarily like David Wilcock, because people believe things for different reasons, and different people believe things for different reasons at different times, meaning some person could be having a paranoid delusion at one point, they're coming to get me, they're coming to get me, they're coming to get me. And another point could be having a completely different fixation because of like a narcissistic, yo, you know what? You know why they didn't book me? You know why they didn't book me? You know why they didn't book me? Because she thinks she's cute. Because she thinks she's cute. No, because she has to be the one. She has to be the one. She has to be the one. You warned me. You warned me if I wore that top. You warned me. And now here we go. And now here we go. Watch the Instagram. Watch the Instagram. You know, everyone's got a fixation. Here we go. You have to worry about their motivations. Their motivations were they were going to try and prevent you. They were like, watch. They were like, you're going to make this video. CW Chanter is going to be like, thank you.
But I'm going to try to keep it classy, and I'm only going to...
We're in this together, girl. We're both trying to keep this classy. Keep it classy, San Diego. We're going to fail. We're going to fail. I watched this video like twice. We're both going down in flames. We're going down in BJ and the bear flames. The orangutan is going down. I'm the orangutan, not her. She's Clint Eastwood. Is what?
Name the names of the people who have actually done me harm at a level that it could be considered criminal. I'm not talking about all the assholes and arrogant idiots out there who talk about me being delusional.
All the assholes? How many people are out here calling Penny Brad? I'm sorry. No offense. All the assholes out here calling you delusional. There ain't no one. Excuse me. I have 5,000 subscribers and you have like 1,000 subscribers less than me. And I have like zilch subscribers on YouTube and you know this. Come on now. All the assholes saying that you're delusional. Ain't no one covering the scene but me. There ain't no one talking about Douglas Dietrich but me. You know this. Who else is talking about these people? No one is talking about. You are not Chris Chan. No offense. Like, honestly, honey, no, come on. You're talking about, that is what gets me. It's like, can I please just be the Grinch? Can you give me the dignity of my Grinchiness? You know what I mean? Would it kill you to give the Purple Pie Man the honorarium of the Purple Pie Man, epaulets? Like, give me my name. You know what I mean? You know who I am. Like, what is that mysterious sound of like, what is that like vaguely like, is that like indigo? It's the Purple Pie Man. Excuse me. All those. Come on now. Exactly. No one talking about Ivan Teller. CW is our only hope. Excuse me. And meanwhile, there were 48 people watching Ivan Teller's live stream last night. I have 19 people watching me only because I'm talking about Penny Bradley. That's like, that puts my life in perspective. Meanwhile, there was nearly like, what? There were 48 people watching Ivan Teller last night, channeling the dark side of Jesus. And to say that he was speaking word salad would insult word salad. The man was saying literally nothing. It was beyond nothing. And he had 48 people watching him live. It was an insult to human understanding that he had that many people watching him live. Like, like they call like Bashar, like Daryl Anka channeling Bashar, and they say that's word salad what he just said because it doesn't make rational, logical sense. But literally what Ivan Teller was saying was like he wasn't staying in like one person, like he was going between first and third person, like you couldn't tell who he was referring to. Like it was like absolutely, it was gunk. He was just like spewing words. It was just nonsense. And there were 48 people watching him live. And I was like, and people turn away from my content. and this guy has 48 people watching him live, because literally the title of the video is "I'm channeling new age like shit," and so people are just like channeling new age shit. And I realized, like, oh, I could literally just take the title of his video from last night and just go ahead and just write it down. Oh, tonight I'm going to channel these 3 people, and then just do it. Whatever. Let me just go back to, I'm sorry. I apologize, Penny. Sorry. I'm getting upset with Ivan Teller. Can you tell? 48 people watching him live. That's insanity. That's insanity. And when I say he was talking the word salad, it was word salad. It was insanity. Mike Gamble pointed out, hold on. Mike Gamble, hold on, let me do this. Oh, no, hold on, wait, now I'm good. It's something wrong. Just hold on. Let me just do this. Mike Gamble says, there were hundreds watching that BS Journey to the Truth podcast. They're much like James Rankin having conferences. Well, geez. There we go. Let me go back and try and streamline this whole affair. We'll be here. Oh, I drove all night. And CW still didn't get to the point. There we go.
I mean, they're entitled to their opinions. I'm talking about people who are doing actual harm to others or to me. So
again, like, I don't know what the criminal statutes are in the state, where she resides. So I have no opinion as to whether people have committed criminal offenses or not.
I have a basic outline I'm going to follow, so I won't be as off the cuff as I usually am. So I'm clarifying a misunderstanding that many of you have about my weekly radio show podcast. While I do primarily discuss the SSP community, the show is about documenting the disclosure movement in all.
So whatever. So I just wanted you to say, like, someone asked this question before. I do not believe in the secret space program. Now, Penny is like many people. She is, these are recovered memories. And I think that recovered memories, I do not believe in recovered memories at all. I think recovered memories are extremely convenient for a lot of these people because they provide a great explanation for why you knew me last year and I wasn't talking about this stuff, but I'm talking about this stuff, this year. We can talk about that and people can have disagreements about this, but it is what it is. But she's going to now say that it's not just about the secret space program, but it's about disclosure in general. Look, I've been, tuned into her channel, and really, if you want to know, I'll just let her take care of it.
All its variety. I do make an attempt to verify the truthfulness of my guests.
Now, look, you can't. This is, if we talk about disclosure, not disclosure in general. I think we need to talk about access to resources and what people are attempting to do. Disclosure, if we're talking about defining disclosure, is the release by the governments of the world of their information that they have access to regarding the existence of UFOs. And we have people like Lou Elizondo, all this other stuff going on. We really need to ask ourselves what we think Penny Bradley thinks she's bringing to the table. Now, I'm not saying that there's not things that people can bring to the table at the card table level. You can advocate. You can community build. You can community organize. You can, you can do your own independent research. But look, what kind of independent research can you really do? We self-aggrandize in this internet community. We look up things. We read books. We go to Barnes and Noble, we buy books. We go online and we look at the things we're interested in. And after a couple of years of talking to our friends and family who have no idea what we're talking about, we start to do things like call ourselves researchers. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous and self-aggrandizing, but it's a game that we play. I give my opinion. Penny's free to disagree. I give my opinion to say, what are we doing as far as the disclosure movement? And I'm going to argue what Freedom of Information Act uh, requests have you filed? Have you published? What UFO researchers have you come on? And if you're saying that you've just said you've done what you can to verify the people that you've had on, I can look at your channel and say you've had Shane Bales on. You've had Shane the Ruiner on. You've had Douglas Dietrich on. You have secret space program people on with their recovered memories. You can't verify. You have yourself. No one can verify the veracity of your story. You can't prove any of this. You can't prove your own story. So how the heck are you going to prove the truth of anyone else's story? This is all just malarkey. This is all just a game. It can't be anything more because there's nothing you can do at this level to make it otherwise. And at a certain point, I can say and be nice and say, and that's just my opinion. But at a certain point, it goes beyond opinion and becomes objective fact. There's nothing you can do absent the production of one of these vehicles, absent the production of government documents proving the existence of this secret space program. And when we get to some of the actual information that you put forth regarding your own story, a person can simply look at a calendar and say, mathematically, what you're claiming here makes no sense.
But do not consider that their appearance on my show means they are telling the whole truth. Some of them were on my show because they asked to be. Some I asked, and some my producer thought would be within the parameters of documenting the disclosure movement. So some of them had no idea who I was.
Yeah, that led to some problems. Like there was a guy that they recently tried to have on that was like an actual researcher that my former romantic partner had on her channel a couple of times that canceled on her when he realized like I guess what kind of channel it was. She says it was because he thought she was a Nazi. I don't think that was because he thought she was a Nazi. It was because he didn't want to be on. You'll see what kind of show she has. Her producer is an African American gentleman. I forget his name. He's a very funny guy. He's a happy guy, very, very happy guy. I don't know what to tell you about him other than his mood and demeanor does not match hers, though her mood and demeanor matches his, which doesn't match the content that they're producing. Meaning, he's very happy and jovial. He seems like a radio FM morning guy. He's like this, man. He's always like this. Penny, man, you got to watch out for Penny because when she gets going, man, she gets going and she'll tear into you faster than you don't know what. Oh man, we're here talking about the SSP. We're talking about disclosure and we're here to get it done. He's entertaining, he's animated, he's funny, but it's odd to see him because you'll have someone talking about like dissection under forced ramifications of having to do something cruel and unkind to something, and then you'll cut to him being like sounding like he's going to announce a lottery winning. It's kind of spooky and freaky sometimes. It's weird. It's a time, who knows.
And
I can totally see him just
it's
being a
an
straight up
opportunity.
producer. Like, yeah, him booking somebody because aliens or UFOs or whatever, and then that person being like, And I could also see him thinking like, we're gonna take this thing into more just of a disclosure thing, and him just being like, feeling like maybe he's on an entertainment ride or wanting to just go there on an entertainment thing. It's gonna be hard with Penny Bradley because I think Penny Bradley's on some other tip.
To sell their books. So I have no issues with
Walter Bradley. Walter and Penny sitting in the tree. KISSING. Come on. Kidding. Walter Bosley has been on Penny Bradley's channel. We gotta cover that one, right? I'm gonna cover that. I might cover that one on Patreon, yo. That might be a Patreon exclusive, right?
Of those people. The ones we will be talking about today are the ones who have
the famous ones,
either committed or contributed to criminal activity.
Allegedly.
So I have been fooled by some of these people, just like everyone else has.
I won't go on and get fooled by these people.
I do have psi abilities, but I generally don't use them on people.
She has psi abilities. Those are psionic abilities. We're gonna get into a funny part where not funny, haha, kind of funny, strange. She's got psi abilities. She claims. I don't think she does. Guess what? I don't think she does. We're gonna get to a part where man, I'm just gonna let her do it herself. It's fine. She's got psi abilities, but she generally doesn't use them on the people. Why not? Why wouldn't she use them? You said that you do what you can to verify the veracity of the people that you're on. You know who has the psi abilities? This is ridiculous. Oh, I got the psi abilities, but I don't use them because of the free will. Meanwhile, back in neurologist land, there's some people out here that are wondering whether or not we got free will at all. There's serious questions about free will. Yeah, I don't want to know. Why don't you use the psi abilities on this? Can you kick my ass? Anyway. No. We'll get to that one too. That interview, David Bucky, 2015. If I'm lying, I'm dying. 2015, Alfred Lamar Weber interviews Simon Parks, very important roundtable, right? Also, how about this? Folks, they're YouTube videos. Cut it out. Not every YouTube video. If it's two people, if it's more than one person, webinar, class, seminar, roundtable. It's a YouTube video, schmucks.
I honor their right to privacy in their.
Yeah, you under the right to the privacy. Okay. Also, can't actually read their minds. If you go around trying to read people's minds, you might unfortunately learn something like, I can't read people's minds. But if you only try to do it every once in a while, you can fool yourself into statistically thinking you can read people's minds.
Own heads. I don't do soul readings on them or make
soul readings. In what world is a soul part of a psychic ability? You got psi abilities, but then later on she's going to claim that she doesn't believe in the channeling or the magic stuff, the spiritual stuff. She's going to say isn't real, but her psi stuff is real. But soul readings, the soul, I thought the soul was part of that spirit stuff. Wait, I'm going to have to get wait, hold on. I'm confused, but I think I can figure this out. Hold on. Wait, I'm sorry, Penny. You're going to have to help me. Wait, I'll save the joke. I'll save the joke until she gets really into it. Am I back? They're trying to shut us down. Trying to shut us down. Am I back? Can you hear me? First of all, first tell me that you can hear me. Oh, good. Okay, here we go.
Telepathic contact before the interviews, for the simple reason that the DOD tried to kill me that way once.
So she doesn't make psychic contact with the subject, with her interview subjects before the interview, because the Department of Defense tried to kill her once before that way before. Okay. Well, I guess that's a reasonable way to that. I don't believe any of this stuff. I mean, what can I tell you? I don't believe any of this stuff. Why would the Department of Defense want to kill Penny Bradley? And why didn't they just do it? And why would they do it through a psychic thing when they could just kill her? Do you know what I mean? It's just, of course. I mean, what? I mean, it just is. This is what it is. Here's this. That's because it would break the moral laws around magic, and getting cash or wealth would cost the greedy person 10 times the bad juju karma, usually death or dismemberment. But the laws of physics, you can't get more than energy than you put out than you get back. It's fine. Forget it.
And I have learned to not do that.
Yeah.
Also, people are entitled to their privacy in their own heads, which is something many in our community don't honor. I don't go into a person's head without their consent unless I feel they're threatening me.
That's a good look. Okay. I mean, look, what can I tell you? So, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to let my ire go up. It doesn't make any sense to let my ire go up. People can say whatever they want, and obviously, having her say this, doesn't make it so. One would obviously say this: if Miss Penny Bradley had immense psychic powers, greater than powers demonstrated than by the average human being, then wouldn't we be able to see her, like, being able to, like, benefit, like, in some way? Do you know what I mean? In some small demonstrable way from these abilities or skills. And I don't know. I mean, look, I don't believe it for a second. I just think that, this is a person who is, just, you know, living this life of pretense. I haven't seen her demonstrate any evidence of psychic abilities. I don't know. I don't know what those would look like, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything exceptional. I've seen nothing but what looks to be a person who I feel like I could write there could be a captivating story about. We could see this as a person, in an independent movie, you know what I mean, or a novella or a play. This is a human character. God bless her. Goddess bless her.
And this is a gray zone. If I feel they're threatening me, then I have every right to defend myself.
And how would you defend yourself? What would this constitute? But how do you defend yourself psychically if they're a threat against you?
Now, I do continue to have guests who make sense to me while I'm documenting the disclosure movement. There are
You're documenting the disclosure movement? You're documenting the disclosure. What is the disclosure movement that you're documenting? What is the disclosure movement? Do you know what I mean? What is the disclosure movement? Is it people on the internet talking about UFOs? Is it the archiving of Joe Rogan interviews with jet pilots talking about the Tic Tac UFOs? Is it the archiving of ATIP interviews or Lou Elizondo public appearances? Is it interviews with the guy who sued me? Is that the disclosure movement? Is it maybe is it also the ephemera, like pop culture? Like, do you know how many? If you go to this free streaming service called Tubi, you know how many zombie Area 51 rave movies came out in like 2017, like around that like Area 51 bullshit thing that happened, like a shit ton. Are those good? I mean, like that's pop culture ephemera, right? That would be documenting the disclosure movement. Are you archiving that stuff? Do you have a master's or a doctorate in library sciences? Because you can get a doctorate in library sciences. There are professional archivers, and I assure you that there are professional archivers who are documenting conspiracy theory culture like QAnon. They are. And they're doing it at a doctorate level at universities. They don't need your help. You're not documenting the disclosure movement. You're not. You're entertaining yourself and playing a game called Penny Bradley is Nachtwaffen pilot, SSP program participator, psychic skill having, super soldier. Oh, I never said I was a super soldier. Okay, you didn't use those terms. You used your terms. You know who you are? You're Penny Bradley, human being of value, of worth, born in XYZ town in the United States of America on such and such a date, and that's who you are. And all this other jazz, some fantastic mumbo jumbo. I love it. It's great, but none of it's true. None of it's true. None of it's true. And you don't sound like the kind of person that really thinks that it is. Because I've talked to people who are totally crazy, right? The people that see things that aren't there. I don't think you're one of those. You know, I think you're just one of those people that just comes up with stories. It's great. It's lovely.
a lot of people out there whose entire testimony is based on channeling.
This is great. This is the part. This is fantastic. Mark it. This is the clip. 6 minutes and 30 seconds. This is the audacity of Penny Bradley. Now, here's the thing. This is a critique. This is a straight up critique. This is Penny Bradley. Here's the problem with Penny Bradley. Okay. Here's the thing. This is where Penny Bradley goes. Penny Bradley thinks this. Penny Bradley's psychic skills are true. And she can tell that her secret space program memories are real. And her friends and the secret space program people that she's authenticated, she can tell that they're real because she's vetted them with her psychic skills. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that think they're in the SSP program, but they're not because they got their verification through channelers. And channelers are religious, spiritual people, and that stuff isn't real. Psychic is real. Channeling spiritual is wrong, fake. I think. I listen to her. 6 minutes and 30 seconds of her video.
Whose entire testimony is based on channeling or dreams or.
Some people's entire testimony is based on channeling or dreams.
Or other things that I generally consider to be religious.
Other things she generally considers to be religious.
Rather than 3D real.
Rather than 3D real, like her psychic abilities. Channeling and dream state revelation is not real. Her psychic information is 3D real. These are like the people that are snobs about Star Trek over Star Wars. You know those people? Because the Star Trek guys have like their fan fiction comes with the diagrams of the phasers, and a photon torpedo is described in more scientific rigor, and a lightsaber. What the fuck? That makes no sense. You know, how does the laser beam end at the end? That makes no sense. But a laser gun makes sense. You know what I mean? In uniforms, you know what I mean? Like in Star Wars, they don't explain anything. So Star Trek guys think they're better, or like sci-fi guys and gals who think that they're better than fantasy people because fantasy is like magic and magic is just like make believe and pretend. But science fiction is like technology, man, like computers, like that's an actual thing. That's like this shit. But she thinks this shit's real. This is incredible. You know, it's just, but this is what I mean. And this is part of why I left this shit talking about this stuff, because there's no resolution. We're not gonna, it's not like a Rubik's Cube I'm never gonna solve, but there's the fantasy. We say hello to Michelle Embry. We say hello to Michelle Embry in the chat. Join us in the chat. There's the Rubik's Cube that I'm never gonna solve. At least the fantasy is there. At least the fantasy is there that it's a solvable problem, right? It is a puzzle that has a solution. This has no solution. There is no solution to the fact that Homo sapiens sapien produces examples of the human race that make up shit. And we'll just continue to make up shit until, the cows come home.
So
we haven't even got on 6 minutes and 50 seconds.
There are people I have stopped interviewing because of their behaviors towards me. Some have simply bossed me around.
Unacceptable.
I don't take that well, personally. I have worked hard to have my own authority over my own life, my own.
And in case you're curious, they accuse us of that which they do. The hubbub in this community regarding Penny Bradley, she's going to accuse people of bossing her around, okay, and bullying her. What do you think the rumor about Penny Bradley is in the underground of the SSP? Because I'm in deep. If you don't think I got stock accounts in these forums, whatever. What do you think the rumor? What do you think her rep is? What do you think about the rep on Penny Bradley is? Anybody put in the live chat, what do you think Penny Bradley's rep is? One word. If you could pick one word. Mike Campbell. That's it. She's the nasty boy. Everyone. That's it. Down the line. Everyone's got a rep. Alfred Lambert Mont Weber's reputation is the exact same as mine. He's a bitch in heat. He'll turn on you in a second. He's going to throw you under the bus. He's going to spill the tea in 3 seconds flat. That's it. That's Alfred Lambert Mont Weber's reputation. And what's her reputation? She's bossy you around. She's gonna tell you exactly what to do. And if you cross her, she's gonna lean on you like nobody's business. That's the rep. That I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm just saying that's the rep. That's the rep.
Autonomy. Not even my partner tells me what to do.
No, you tell him what to do.
He will advise me that he thinks that I'm going in a bad direction and that I should rethink it, but he never, ever tells me what to do.
Because he can't.
So bossing me is one reason that I'll stop having you on the show. Others have
saying no is another reason you barely get that.
Others are spreading lies about me. Flat out, blatant lies. And I see no reason to advertise folks who treat me poorly. And yes, in the overall community.
Now, Penny, see, now here's where I can interrupt and say, you see no reason to advertise people who treat you poorly. Well, if your agenda was to document the disclosure movement or the SSP movement, someone might say, well, one reason you might advertise someone who treats you poorly is if their information was good and relevant, right? There are so many people in the news industry who work with people or tell the stories of people that they find absolutely reprehensible, dictators that they find reprehensible, but they go to that country that they know is being run by an evil person, and they do the interview with the evil person, and they publish the interview with the evil dictator that they know is killing innocent people. Why? Because it's important that that information regarding what's happening in that country and what that leader is doing in that country is, important to the world. So that's something that you would know, or that's something that you would say if it was your journalistic endeavor to document the disclosure movement. And you would have that if that was what, that's a skill set that would be necessary to disclose, to document. See, that's the thing about independent media. Just because the YouTube gives you the power, or Facebook gives you the power, or Twitter gives you the power to act as a kind of airsats amateur journalist, doesn't mean you have the skill set to be a good journalist. And absolutely bad journalism and bad journalists fuck up the system flow and fuck up the communications flow. That's part of the problem with conspiracy theory today. Yes, absolutely, there are conspiracies. Yes, absolutely, there's information regarding things that differ from what's being promoted by mainstream media. But having 1,000,000,003 voices of insanity babbling along nonsense doesn't help it. You don't have journalistic integrity because you never went to journalism school. That's not your fault. But you have no idea what I'm talking about. Because you know what I mean? If I say the word ignorant, you might take that as an insult because you don't know what the word ignorant means. I'm sorry. Oh, and the joke was when you said your psychic information versus the religious shit that is not real. And I was going to do the joke, and this was the fucking joke. Excuse me, I have a little. I'm giving you the exact important. And sorry. Here was the joke. Penny, I apologize. You're gonna have to help me. You're gonna have to tell me if we're playing Pathfinder, okay, Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, or Fate. If I'm gonna determine whether or not how to properly evaluate your psychic skills versus the channeling, dream interpretations of these other people. Okay, there you go.
Being interviewed on
I wish I could pop out this chat.
advertising. That's how it's viewed. And the public needs to understand.
Oh shoot! Wait, hold on, let's stop. I'm not sharing. Hold on. Share screen.
So this is the business
Michelle Henry, she
model
looks like a super soldier type.
for
Absolutely.
the radio companies.
Absolutely.
Now, I am paying to have a radio show.
Important point. She just said she's paying to have a radio show. This is an important point. This is pay to play. Why do I say this? These people are personally invested. Okay? They're going to say to you things like, what do I get out of this? Why would I do this? They are absolutely getting something out of this. What kind of life do you think Penny Bradley has? Okay? Without this. What kind of life do you think Penny Bradley has with this? With being plugged into a world where she's being told that she's playing a part in something, where she's an integral part of this web of world events, of intricate plots, of soldiers and super soldiers and spies, of dynasties and intergalactic dynasties, and she's got psychic abilities, and she's in combat, and the Department of Defense is trying to take her out. This is everything. This is being alive. And don't for a second think that it's not it's that we're not getting to the naming of names in June 14th of 2022, because of that's unrelated to this thing that I was talking about, of this whole thing running out of steam, right? I've been talking about the Penny Bradley channel, and I've been saying it's the only thing left. What do we have left? We're down to Penny Bradley. We're down to Penny Bradley. We're down to Penny Bradley. She's been talking about guest canceling, and here we are at the naming of names. And some of her biggest names are named. She's going to throw Peter Moon and Douglas Dietrich under the bus. So when Douglas Dietrich and Penny Bradley sever ties, when those two come apart, I'm telling you, it's over. You're literally, we're done. I'm going to be covering people. Then it's literally going to be like me at, on the Eros level, like covering targeted individuals who are making videos that are being shown to 30 people. I mean, I'm not doing that.
So my personal experience is that I am paying to be able to do disclosure.
You're not doing disclosure. You're paying to do your personal ego trip, which is fine. And you're an SSI. That's not an insult, but you get a check in the mail. I know people on SSI. It's not an easy life, okay? But it's not working, okay? I don't play this game with people on SSI. It's not an easy life, and it's not a lot of money, but you're paying. But there are two people in that household. If you've got SSI money to spare on an internet radio broadcast, and quite frankly, I don't know how much it costs to actually do an internet radio show, and I don't know if it's a lot. But if you can afford it, it means you can afford it. And if you can afford it, it means it's worth it to you, right? I know people on SSI, and they are willing to eat poorly so they can drink well. Social Security income. Her age. She discloses it herself. I'm not saying anything she's not saying herself. People on SSI who are willing to eat poorly so they can drink well. That's what it's worth to them. Okay, and she's willing to have internet radio show, so she's paying, but I'm telling you.
And so I may take a little bit different attitude toward the behavior of my guests because I'm paying to have them on. They're not paying me. I'm not being paid for it. I am taking money out of my Social Security check to put these people on air.
And like at her age, I'm gonna guess that this is disability. So she's, I don't know her age, but I don't think she's that old.
And that may color the way I see these things. So all right. It should be noted that Eugene Sonny Irvin Jr. recently.
Bring forth the naming of names. Eugene Sonny Irving is the first guy up. I'm going to say, I don't know who this guy is. No, she pays for the internet radio. She has an internet radio show. She would be paying for they have to pay for the bandwidth. I don't know what it is. It's like she has at the beginning of her show, they show what it is. I don't know. Quite frankly, she's probably a fool for paying that. We say hello to Melissa, Malasia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. We could probably find out what it is. At the beginning of her show, you see the thing, and it's an easy check to see what it is. Who died? No, she pays for the wait, who died? Charles Declassified died? No. How would that happen? He was on Project Alpha, but the real one, I do not get me started. We're gonna defend another
Did jail time for fraud in Texas. I
allegedly.
interviewed him several times. The information he shared was stolen from Andy Basiago.
Now listen, the information that he had to share was stolen from Andrew Basiago. Who cares when the information that Andrew Basiago, fellow Jersey boy, literally grew up, Andrew Basiago, listen, you want to talk about strange coincidences. Hold on, let me tell you something. First of all, here's a couple problems with Penny Bradley. Here's some more problems with Penny Bradley. Part of Penny Bradley's testimony includes the fact that she's going to throw Nicholas Preston under the bus, but part of her story relies on the testimony of who's this guy? He was associated with the Philadelphia experiment. He was also associated with the Montauk Project. Al Belak. Al Belak is a total fraud, but Al Belak spent time in my hometown where I grew up. So Al Belak grew up in my hometown where I grew up. True story. Al Belak grew up in my hometown where I grew up. And Andrew Basiago spent time in like one town, like a couple of towns over than me, I think, for a while, and also spent time really nearby me in New Jersey too. Anyway, Andrew Basiago's information is totally bankrupt too. So a lot of that shit is just all taken from science fiction books. So it's all like, it's crazy. So she's basically saying like, yeah, his information was stolen from stolen information. It's like it's all bullcrap. Rooster Sideburns. Al Belak had a cool story. Don't crush my dreams. He actually didn't have a cool story. He had a terrible story. It was the worst. That's why it fell apart within like 3 years of his dying. I'm have to go check it out. I have to go start lurking on Avalon again. It's been years. It's been years since I've been on the Project Avalon forum, I think.
I did not know that at the time. I did know that the information checked out.
The information can't check out because if he stole the information from Andrew Basiago and then you're saying the information checked out, then you're saying the information of Andrew Basiago checked out. But guess what? The information of Andrew Basiago didn't check out because the information of Andrew Basiago includes the chronovision visor, includes Andrew Basiago traveling back and seeing Abraham Lincoln, includes time travel, includes Andrew Basiago just walking around Mars, getting the red dust of Mars on his shoes, then going to a college class and having a girl comment on them. It also includes him having several degrees that there are no records of him actually having. Andrew Basiago's information absolutely does not check out. And how would you be able to verify it? How would you be able to verify it, Penny Bradley? How did you how would you check it out? You think that Al Belak's story checks out, but Al Belak's story of time travel doesn't even check out because Al Belak's story of time travel to the year a couple of 100 years from now didn't even account for flat screen TVs.
But I did not know that he'd stolen it from Andy. Nor was I aware that Irvin had stalked both Andy Bajago and Laura Magdalene as his own.
He stalked both of them? That's a crazy stalk. Choose their side voters to verify it. Then Al Bielak still is starting for that. Al Bielak would just incorporate himself into what's going on. Al Bielak glommed on to the Philadelphia experiment story after it had already started happening and go down. And he glommed on to Montauk Project. That's what he did. He was just a chancer and romancer. Then his last act before he died was he glommed on to Wingmakers. Carrie Cassidy also glommed on to Wingmakers. What was the problem with that? What was the problem with that? Wingmakers was an actual work of creative fiction. Okay. And after Carrie Cassidy and Al Bielak had already gone in and started talking about how it was all real and everything, the actual creative guy behind it was like tracked down. He was kind of like, I think he was kind of like a little bit like the guy that wrote like, who's that author? I'm getting terrible with names and word finding because of the whatever. Yeah, the way he came out was basically like it was like Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It was like a creative writing thing. The whole story about it was like there was an ancient cave, and it was like kind of like the Celestine Prophecy. The Celestine Prophecy actually kind of was like a ripoff of it. And it had like books involved in it, art pieces and stuff, but it was just like a made up thing. And Al Bielak said that it was true. It was like, it was just like a bullshit. It was just like crazy stuff. So you're wrong, Penny. Like I love you, but you know what I mean. You're literally glomming on to like nonsense stories. Rooster Sideburns, good old Art Bell days. Exactly, good old Art Bell days. That's it. Who knows where Andrew Bashago is now? He might be in a, last time we heard about Andrew Bashago, he was saying that he was going blind. He might be in a home.
This is my public apology to both of these fine people for giving that criminal airtime. But he is an example of why we have to talk about the frauds among us. I didn't know.
We're going to talk about the frauds, but then you're going to mention Andrew Bashago and you're going to mention Al Bielak is no longer with us. But, you know, like, no offense, who amongst these people is not a fraud? You know what I mean? None of these people are telling the truth. All of these people are telling nonsensical stories. These are all just fantasy stories. Andrew Bashago's run for the presidency. Andrew Bashago seeing Barack Obama. Remember, Andrew Bashago never told us anything about Buanon. Andrew Bashago never told us anything about Donald Trump.
Because they never talked about it. There are others I have interviewed who are unsafe in our community. Now, I want to make it clear, a criminal past does not mean that the experience or the experiencer are invalid.
Fair enough and true.
Okay? If you have a criminal past and you've straightened your act up, then I have no problem with you.
It's got nothing to do with it. Miss Bradley, if a person has factual information, if they have testimony to give regarding their eyewitness account of an event, a person, place, or thing, their criminal behavior, their activities, their whatever has nothing to do with anything. All that matters is the information that they have. Their character may come into question regarding whether they're telling the truth or not telling the truth. But all this stuff, again, would go into whether or not you have the necessary skill set to be the proper discloser, representative or helper of this disclosure information. But none of this matters anyway, because it's just you and your friends playing make-believe games.
It's if the behavior is an ongoing threat to others that I have a problem with it. So, Irvin's ongoing theft of intellectual property.
It's not intellectual property. Excuse me. It's not. It can't be intellectual property. A person's information is intellectual property. Iron Man is intellectual property. Okay. If I write a book, it's intellectual property. If I make a painting, it's intellectual property. If I see something, if I participate in a historical event, if I'm at a battle, if I'm at a Navy Sea investigation exploration mission between the United States and China, if I'm in a military exercise, if I am a reporter at a diplomatic convention, and I come back and I write a story about it, I cannot sue another reporter who covers the same story for stealing my intellectual property. Events are not intellectual property. Your testimony regarding things is not an intellectual property. You don't even know what the intellectual property is. You're just saying words because God bless you. I surmise.
The stalking of speakers, his habit of using women to support him.
Hey,
all
well,
of
now
these.
listen. Listen. First of all, let me tell you something. What are we going to hear and what are we going to see? We're going to hear and we're going to see the same old stuff, the same old stories, the same old things. What are people doing? Human shit, kind of low down human shit. Because, folks, we're not in the world of big time winners. We're not in the world of success stories. These are not independent business owners. These aren't doctors. These aren't lawyers. No. These aren't highly competent IT professionals capable of pulling down six-figure salaries. These are the jerkwads who see advertisements for, if you take this dumbass computer class, you too might be able to pull down a six-figure salary. Dumbass. And sign up for the course. These are, at best, business college extension course pamphlet recipient greeters. Right, these guys, God bless them. I love them. They're human beings. They got value, but we're not at the winner circle. We're at the human circle. These people have value, but come on. There's a reason why this is happening. Okay? So it's going to be the same old story. It's going to be people chancing and romancing and trying to survive. A lot of couch surfing, a lot of couch surfing, a lot of couch surfing, and a lot of trying to survive by a lot of women trying to survive by using men, and a lot of men trying to survive by using women, because people are trying to survive. You know what I mean? What do you want? People are trying to survive out here. It's hard out here for super secret soldier program. You know what I mean? It's hard to make money on Rumble.
Make him unsafe. He recently contacted me through social media. He's out of jail and just tried to walk right back into my life.
That's an odd expression. He tried to walk right back into your life. You just said he tried to survive. He's trying to survive on, yo, ladies, no offense. Let's listen again to the words that she's not using. Yo, no offense. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you what. Listen, don't come around here. Don't come around here. Don't come around here. Because these ears work. These ears work. He called you. You are telling me, listen, hold on. Number one, if you have psychic abilities, that's fantastic. Maybe you should turn them on. Maybe you should turn them on and use them on yourself, because I don't need psychic abilities to understand exactly what's going on here. Excuse me. That's language. You are using specific language. And the guy's just using the guys. Oh, Karispan, come on now. Are you serious? You've been here long enough. I don't want to hear silly questions. What? You don't know? Come on now. Come on now. That's long time ago. We done broke up. I'm sorry. You don't know? We done broke up. You didn't know? That's like some 2 years gone shit, girl. Are you serious? But you know what I mean? Like, honestly, honestly. Call Penny Bradley. Yo, psychic ability. Like, I feel like, honestly, and this is good. Here's what I love. This is it. Okay, here we go. This is a Hordes Love That. I don't, but that was honestly, I don't. And the only reason I made an exception, that was like, no, honestly, don't feel bad about this guy's man, but oh my God. Like, I was like, I felt bad. I was like, that didn't feel like you were trolling. I felt like, oh my God, it's serious. Like, it was like, I'm going to take care of this before you embarrass yourself. That's because they don't allow lawyers on the astral plane. Here we go. That's very specific. Ladies, that's very specific language. Am I alone? That's very specific language. Come on, listen.
Have a criminal past and you've straightened your act up, then I have no problem with you. It's if the behavior is an ongoing threat to others that I have a problem with it.
So, Janelle, we don't talk. We don't talk negatively.
Irvin's ongoing theft of intellectual property, his stalking of speakers, his habit of using women to support him, all of these make him unsafe. He recently contacted me through social media. He's out of jail.
Here we go. Wait.
And just tried to walk right back into my life.
I know, right?
And no, that's not going to happen.
You're talking like a lady. No, like.
I am aware that he should be facing charges for grand theft auto.
Allegedly.
For stealing a rental car he took from a woman friend of mine.
So much. What?
Now, this particular man, I'll go into more detail about his work later. I've been.
Meanwhile, FYI, in case you're curious, we are, hold on, excuse me. We are 1 hour and 48 minutes into my video. We are 11 minutes and 27 seconds into her video. I'm not going to block you, Karispan. We'll let it go this time. But now we know you know. So now we know you know. No, seriously, Michelle. But so here's the thing. How many times can I come back and dip? Right? How many times? Oh, wait. How many times can I come back and dip before she catches on and like either like blocks me or like sets it to private? We gotta get through this.
And attacked for the last 6 months by him and his girlfriend. I never did anything to either of them. I blocked him when he threatened me and his girlfriend as soon as I knew she was with him. And I still get notified of everything they say about me.
Well, do you have your notifications set on? And do you, like, if you, I don't know.
Mutuals. I want you to understand.
Mutuals?
This man and his girlfriend have terrorized me when I did absolutely nothing to either one of them. I was in surgery and came out to attack after attack after attack after attack. And I had not done anything to the man except have him on my show once. Trust me, that will never happen again.
Well, I don't know what happened, but like, you know what I mean? Like, we'll see. Well, that couldn't have been the only thing. First of all, that doesn't make any sense because you say that the only thing that happened was that you had him on on your show once, but obviously that's not the only thing that happened because you had him on social media or whatever, and there was obviously some sort of interaction because your friend he had a rental car from your friend, so there had to have been something going on, right? There had to have been like some interaction. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know.
And every time any of you put his crap in my face, you are helping him terrorize me.
That's some bullshit. What do you mean every time they put something of his in your face? Does that mean you're saying mutuals? You mean like anytime they like anything by him and therefore their like of his shows up on like your social media thing? That's part of what I'm talking about. Like the Penny Bradley's a bully. Like this is what I'm talking about. Like you know what I mean? Like what do you want people to do? You want them all to unfriend him. You want them all to block him so that there's no possibility under the sun that you'll ever, ever, ever see his name pop up in your thing. And if anyone like does anything like retweets him or likes him or does anything that gets him to pop up in your timeline, then they've terrorized you. That's like, that's maybe you shouldn't be on social media because there's some people who aren't on social media because social media doesn't work with them. And that's fine. But some people would say that means that it's not the world that needs to change. It's you need to accept the fact that there's aspects of the world that you can't change and that you just have to change your world a little bit to deal with them, like get off social media.
Please stop now.
Overreaction, grow up, get off the internet. No, honestly. Also, if you have psychic power and you can be a pilot for Nachtwaffen, if I can, as a Jew, tolerate, the fact that there's like so many obvious like implications to this whole Nachtwaffen like dialogue that you got. You always talk about like German and the officers and all this like crap. If I can deal with that without being like so obviously triggered, you can deal with people being on social media or get off social media. Honestly, like deal with it. It's full contact internet, YouTube. Just deal with it. You're friends with Douglas Dietrich and the shit that he has said about people, like no offense, and the shit that he's probably said about people on your show, like whatever. I've seen you say some crazy stuff to people.
I don't want to hear a damn thing that he has to say.
Well, whatever. Deal with it.
Life. There is someone who I have been affiliated with for the past year. He's been on my show. I've been on his show. I'm simply worn down by his constant disrespect.
Now, this is what I mean. She started this video and she said that she was going to talk about people and she wasn't going to talk about people that were just the loud mouths. All those people that were saying that she was delusional. All those people saying she was delusional. There's one dude commenting upon Douglas. There's no one else besides me. There's no one else besides me talking. There are no other debunkers talking about Penny Bradley, talking about Douglas Dietrich to the best of my knowledge. If anyone else can find me another person talking about any of these people, go ahead and tell me. So there's no one else saying that these people that she's only could only be talking about me. I'm the only one talking about these people being delusional. I'm the only one that constantly brings her up. And so I become one guy talking about her being delusional becomes all these people talking about her, right? And all these people terrorizing her.
The parts of his personal story.
Oh, and then she says she's gonna talk about she's not gonna talk about these people. She's gonna talk about just the criminal people. And then she goes into the people that are just annoying her.
Story that I had problems with from the beginning are still problematic for me. And I'm doing a video about this now.
All right.
Out of the 40 or so folks who have attacked me since I became public, about
40 or so folks have attacked you since you became public. That's like everyone. Like, no offense. Do you know how small this scene is? To get attacked by 40 or so people, I haven't been attacked by 40 or so people. I haven't been attacked by 40 or so people. I haven't been attacked by 40 or so people. I haven't been attacked by 40 or so people. And I'm CW Chanter, right? If y'all got attacked by 40 or so people, y'all up. You know what I mean? Who are you burning? Do you know what I mean? What'd you do? Who did you bring a gun to the party? You know what I mean?
10 are actually dangerous and should be noted. Now, I'm not going to talk about all the assholes who hate me.
You just said you were.
I know that I'm controversial on a good day.
Oh yeah.
And people are entitled to have their own opinions about me or to believe or disbelieve what I have to say.
Good.
Not my circus, not my monkeys.
I like that
These
expression.
people that I'm naming have engaged in behaviors that are criminal in California.
Allegedly.
These are the people who are dangerous.
Allegedly. Also, Penny Bradley, not an officer of the law, to the best of my knowledge, not an attorney, not a paralegal, not a graduate of any jurisprudence law enforcement program. To the best of my knowledge.
And I think you need to think about that.
I think you need to think about a lot of things.
There are 10 of them. Some are more dangerous than others.
Each more dangerous than the next. You will have to face all of them this night. If you get through, only then will you be the ultimate secret space program fighter.
But I'm going to give them roughly in chronological order of when they attacked me.
I wrote 55 songs about
Number
Brad
one,
and they sing them all tonight.
Fritz Springmeier.
Fritz Springmeier.
Y'all think he's wonderful.
I don't think he's wonderful. In fact, I think he's a douchebag deluxe. Fritz Springmeier first came to prominence, you might remember, because he wrote this ridiculous book called 13 Bloodlines of the Illuminati. He's old school. He was the guy, he used to be around back in the day, back in the early 90s with Jordan Maxwell. He was, back in the early days of VHS tapes being traded back and forth from the Prophecy Club. Fritz Springmeier was one of these early guys, in the early days of the militia movement and Second Amendment, when conspiracy theory was, shortwave radio broadcasts with William Cooper. I mean, this guy was like back in the day. And then something happened, and that something was he robbed a bank and was convicted of participating in that bank robbery and went to federal prison. And his life was never the same. His reputation was absolutely destroyed and ruined. He went to federal prison. He never again appeared on any of the major conspiracy broadcasts, specifically Alex Jones. And you're going to see where he ended up. And the life lesson here is what I want to front end to this is what happened to Fritz Springmeier. he ended up in, you're going to see, he's now with these allegedly mixed in amongst these secret space program survivors, mixed in amongst these forums, playing these LARP games. So how the mighty have fallen. Let's see if he's got a Wikipedia page. I think he might. But that's Fritz Springmeier, that's him in a nutshell. There's not much to him. Apologize. I might need to take a bathroom break, and we might have to break this up into multiple parts. The only thing that I'm scared about is I'm scared about Penny Bradley getting offended and being like, F you, CW Chander. But the good thing is, because my channel is not monetized, well, no, what I think it is, the only thing I get in trouble with is if she says that I'm targeting her for harassment. If she just gets me a copyright strike, that's fine, because my channel's not monetized. That's fine. She can claim the video. That's not a big deal for me. I don't care about that. I ain't scared. Fritz Springmeier, born Victor A. E. Schoof. Geez, that's a great spelling of the name. Is an American author of conspiracy theory literature. This is from the Wikipedia, who's written a number of books claiming that a global elite belongs to satanic bloodlines, yada, yada. Early life. Criminal conviction. On January 31st, 2002, Springmeier was indicted in the United States District Court in Portland, Oregon, in connection with an armed robbery. On February 12, 2003, he's found guilty of one count of armed bank robbery in violation of 18 U.S.C. And one count of aiding and abetting the use of a semi-automatic rifle in the commission of a felony. In November 2003, he was sentenced to 51 months in prison in the armed robbery, charged of 6 months in the aiding and abetting. Fritz Springer's, there you go. So there you go. Blah. So great. So there you go. There you go. Convicted bank robber, Fritz Springmeier. So note, her problem with the other guy, she mentioned him being convicted of being just, bank fraud. Remember, this guy robbed the bank.
Because he has investigated the Illuminati, and he has investigated the folks who run the world, and he's given all of this stuff about them.
It's all crap. I mean, David Icke writes books. I mean, you can write books and books and books full of alleged crap, and it doesn't make it true. That's the problem.
Except in my own investigations, I found out about half of it is wrong.
Well, that's great, but half of it's wrong. All of it's wrong, but that's okay. I don't know.
So
maybe we could talk about research.
He will have you convinced that these people need to be killed.
It doesn't have me convinced. You can have, I don't know, whatever. She's going to then say things about his ability to convince people, which is immaterial. So this is then going to get to just her personal gripe and grievance with him, which involves her allegation that he turned people against her in a group.
He will have you consenting to the deaths of innocent people. He will have you possibly consenting to your own death.
No, Fritz Springmeier has been giving lectures for years and years and years about the Illuminati and whatever. If Penny Bradley is now making the argument that he's going to convince people to do this, that, and the other thing, where's the evidence that Fritz Springmeier is leading some sort of Illuminati, anti-Illuminati, mind control cult where he's convincing people to take up arms against Illuminati masters, or to, dispel innocent babies, who just happen to be related to George or Barbara Bush. I don't want to hear it. She's now saying these things about him because he did her dirty, right? That's what.
Because he claims the entire families are evil. Sorry, folks, every individual has the choice whether they are going to be evil or not. Your family doesn't decide it.
Well, and then this goes into complications of complicated issues of free will. Penny, with all due respect, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not a neurologist. You're not a neuroscientist. You don't understand concepts of psychopathy or sociopathy. You don't know to what degree people are compelled or not compelled to do or not do certain things. So, and you don't know to what degree people are compelled by, their families to be forced or not forced to do things. I don't know. I'm just making points about what you don't know, and you're just running your mouth, because what we're going to get to is you're pissed at Fritz Springmeier because he turned certain people against you in a forum.
It for you. Now, his solution to everything is an exorcism.
Now, how did we get there? So now here's part of the other issue with Penny Bradley. Things are not interconnected. She was ostensibly saying that her problem with him was that he had this ability to turn people against, that he was going to convince people that they should kill this or kill that, or going to turn this. And then now it's his solution to everything is an exorcism. Now get this, because this is where it's going to get wacky. Okay? If you thought it was wacky before, here's just where we might get into a debunking. And I haven't done the numbers, but I think we might need to do some research here. So pay attention. We're at the 15-minute and 42-second mark of her interview, and we might have to do this into multiple parts because this video is going long. We're at the 2-hour mark ourselves. Okay. Let's see what happens.
At $600 a pop.
His answer, so her problem is, he says, Fritz Springmeier's answer to everything is an exorcism at $600 a pop.
He believes that people like me who survived the SSP.
He believes that people like me who survived the SSP, who survived the secret space program. So again, now we know, so now we're being told that Fritz Springmeier believes in the SSP. Well, now we can add that to our knowledge about where Fritz Springmeier has had to go now that he threw his life away on a bank robbery.
Are majorly demon infested.
Well, that's his point of view, because of course Fritz Springmeier is a born-again Christian, because that's what he thinks about things. And Penny Bradley doesn't, because Penny Bradley doesn't believe in the religion. She believes in the psychic part of it, that part of it. It's not magic, it's psychic. Computers.
And that we have to go through daily exorcisms at $600 a pop until all the altars are gone.
To do 600, we have to do daily exorcisms at $600 a pop until all the exorcisms are gone.
Okay, that's his business model.
That's his business model.
That's how he's supporting himself.
That's how he's supporting himself. Okay, well, so Penny Bradley bringing the tea. Penny Bradley bringing the tea on Fritz Springmeier. Penny Bradley alleges on June 14th, 2022, that Fritz Springmeier, former conspiracy theory superstar, appearing on Alex Jones, appearing on, I think he appeared on Coast to Coast multiple times, appearing on William Cooper Show, without a doubt, appearing on the lecture circuit multiple times, appearing on the Prophecy Club multiple times, all the time, appearing with Tex Mars and that whole evangelical circuit all the time, prior to his conviction for bank robbery in 2002, as we said. Now she alleges his business model is now exorcisms of secret space program altars for $600 a pop. That's how he's supporting himself. Wow. That's where it's going to get you, go. None of these people turn out, there are no winners. There are no winners. There are no winners. There are no winners at the shooting gallery. There are no winners in the Naked City. Man, it's like you're looking for winners in a James Ellroy novel, man. You ain't going to find it, man. You ain't going to find it.
Is by charging a lot of money to do something that you can't prove whether you actually did it or not.
Do you hear that? Charging a lot of money for saying that you can't prove he did it or not, but she's going to tell you that she can enter people's minds psychically. You know what I mean? Like, whoa. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is why I had to get out of this scene. Because if I didn't get out of this scene, if I tried to cover this stuff on the regular, my brain would explode. Not because of psychic phenomena or whatever, because I'd have an aneurysm, right? Like, I can't, like, at a certain point, I'm going to have to tap out because there's only so much of this I could take before, like, you know what I mean? Before, like I'll have to go talk to like a professional, like before I'll have to go to like the ER and be like, can I talk to a psychiatric nurse? Because you know what I mean? Like, I can't take it anymore. They'll be like, you know, what, inflation? I'll be like, nah. They'll be like, COVID? And I'll be like, no. Like, your wife, you know, like, no, she's crazy, but she's driving me nuts, but whatever. No, that's cool. It's just crazy. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's only so much you can take unless I figure out some sort of breathing exercise or like center myself. Like, I keep on feeling like there's gonna be like a space of like I'm gonna get to a space where I'll just be able to like let this like flow over me. You know what I mean? Like, where I'll just be able to be like, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, and you know what I mean? It's okay, you're wrong, but that's okay.
Okay. And when he confronted me with this, I said, truthfully, I've already been through 104 exorcisms.
I've already been through 104 exorcisms. I've already been through 104 exorcisms. When he confronted me with this, I said, I've already been through 104 exorcisms. I'm curious about this confrontation. What's so funny when people talk, they talk, and I say to myself, I go, you know, I know that 99.9% of these conversations happen online in virtual space. They talk about these conversations like these conversations happened like at the like water cooler or at like, you know what I mean, like in the aisle of the supermarket or at like, you know, at the like, you know, transbopulator of the fucking secret space program, nuclear exchange commission or whatever. But you know, it's like fucking DMs and shit. I confronted him. Fritz, please stop telling people I'm lying. Penny, when will you confront the issue? Not until you come to terms with Jesus and get the exorcism will we be able to talk. Fritz, I'll have you know, I've been through 104 exorcisms. They simply don't work. This secret space program is about more than religion, right? And then it turns into this maybe, or maybe maybe they talked at a conference. Who knows?
Through the Episcopal Church.
Wait, through the Episcopal Church. You had 104 exorcisms through the Episcopal Church. The Episcopal Church. The Episcopal Church, okay, in case you're curious, is the Anglican Church. The Anglican Church is the church that was, you know, they were the Catholic Church, and then Henry VIII was like, I want to fuck another woman, and the Catholic Church is like, come on, man, come on, this is getting crazy. Come on, right? And he was like, fuck that shit. I'm going to make my own church. I'm going to make my own pope, but I'm going to call him the primate. I shit you not. The head of the Anglican Church, the pope of the Anglican Church is called the primate. I shit you not. But then, right, we had the American Revolution. So we didn't want to call the Anglican Church because Anglican means English. So they called the Anglican Church in America the Episcopalian Church. I shit you not. So she's claiming to have had an exorcism through a church that had its name changed because of the American Revolution from the church that had its founding from an unholy, fucking sinful as shit king who didn't want to bend the knee to the Pope who wouldn't let him get laid another time under the sanctity of marriage. And she's going to claim that she had these exorcisms. Meanwhile, does the Episcopalian Church have exorcisms? I think I got the Episcopalian history correct. I might be wrong. I wrote Episcopal exorcism, the Episcopal Church. Okay, exorcism. The driving out. So this is from an Episcopal dictionary of the church. So this is the Episcopal Church. Exorcism. The driving out of evil spirits from persons or places with authority derived from Christ. The NT records exorcisms performed, or the New Testament records exorcisms performed by Jesus. Examples given Mark 5:1 through 13, and by the apostles. Examples given Acts 16:18. The BOS does not provide, excuse me. The BOS does not provide a rite of exorcism, but it gives these guidelines. Those who find themselves in need of such a ministry should make the fact known to the bishop through their parish priest in order that the bishop may determine whether exorcism is needed, who is to perform the rite, and what prayers or other formularies are to be used. Liturgies of the Episcopal Church retain elements of exorcism. Following an ancient tradition, several prayers of the catechment call for release from the power of evil. More commonly, spiritual cleansing and deliverance is the practice of those who pray, deliver us from evil. In other words, there's not even a fucking official Episcopal fucking exorcism. Okay? So she's going to claim that she's had 104 of these. She would have had to go to the fucking bishop each time, and they would have had to go through and approve them. And she's going to say she's had 104 of them. And it sounds as though every time she would have had of these, the most it would have been the priest probably doing the Lord's Prayer.
1999, 2001.
You had 104 from 1999 through 2001. So that's 1999, 2000, 2001. That's at most 3 calendar years. Okay.
2 years of weekly exorcism.
2 years of weekly exorcisms. Well, that's where she gets the 104, right? She's doing, there's there's 52 weeks in a year. So she's got 104. So she's got exactly 2. What? Come on. Fuck you. There's no way. Every fucking, without fail, there's 2 exorcisms every, you know what I mean? Come on, give me a break.
And I still have all 104 exorcisms. Yes, I said, truthfully, I've already been through 104 exorcisms through the Episcopal Church. 1999, 2001. 2 years of weekly exorcisms. And I still have altars. So he declared that I was a demon in a group of me-labs who were programmed.
So Fritz Springmeier declared that Penny Bradley was a demon in front of
He declared that I was a demon in a group of me-labs who were programmed and paranoid. And so they spent the next 6 months attacking me.
Okay. So he said that she was a demon in a group of my labs, me labs. Those are military abduction claimants. These are people that think that they were abducted not by aliens, but by military individuals purporting or pretending to be aliens. And these are people like targeted individuals. These are people who I believe either are people like Penny Bradley or people like Shane Bales who are pretending and making up stories so that they can participate for whatever reason in this world of make believe. Or these are people who are suffering from paranoid delusions, but from whatever reason, who are in become enraptured and entrapped in this world of perpetual delusion. But the notion that all of them, behaved and reacted in the same way and did so because of programming and not because, you know, they're, just playing out some sort of game, or because, some of them reacted this way or some of them reacted that way, or some of them don't like Penny, or some of them weren't doing anything, or some of them, did that, or whatever, is just goes to show you. Penny is, clearly, whenever anyone says everyone did this or everyone did that, you know that you're dealing with someone who is either doesn't have the ability to correctly assess the situation or has an agenda, right? They're either narcissistically unaware of the reality of the situation. They cannot correctly perceive that other people are doing other things. They can only see things as black and white. Everyone's against me. Everyone turned against me because they're, alive. They came out with someone, right? Or they have an agenda. They're lying to you. They're trying to make a case. All these people turned against me. They're trying to do this. They're doing this. They're doing that because of this. It's not because it's a complicated series and I'm a complicated person too, and some people don't like me because X, Y, and Z, right? It's because Fritz Bringmeier told a group of paranoid people or programmed people to turn against me, and that's why they did that. No, keep on doing you, girl. Keep on. You can keep on playing this game. You know what I mean? Keep on. The world will keep on spinning. But as long as you stay enmeshed in this world, the only people you're going to encounter are more broken individuals. There's going to be more people like these people, more people trying to get more money, more people using and abusing women and using and abusing men, and more fucked up situations and environments. That's because that's the only thing that exists here. The only thing that exists in the world of the only thing that exists in a world where the fantasies are centered around paranoid persecution and combat and fighting and aggression and war is pain and damage and fighting. People, look, people can have trauma tied to
He
religion. There
set
could be,
me,
listen, everyone's got a story, and there's no doubt that when we talk, that if I were able to sit down with Penny and talk, whenever you talk to these people, whenever you talk to humans, whenever you talk to someone who's telling a story, the truth is always there somewhere in the story. With a little kid, with the secret space program, one of these people, it's always someone there in the story, except if you're dealing with someone like, some of the people like whatever. The real exploiters who have to take their stories and it comes from nowhere and they're just taking stories, they just have to take, and there's no rhyme or reason, and that's part of why they can't come up with anything. They literally can't come up with anything because they got nothing. But like Simon Parks, right? Of course, the mother, the alien mother. It's, you want the mom, but the mom's an alien who, is, you know, devoid. And, where's the contact? And where's dad? He's an alien. He's so far away. Daddy, I've been waiting for so long to hear you say that. You've been waiting so long for you to say, you've been waiting so long to say that, to call someone daddy. God, you know, you watch the documentary and it's screaming to you, this man's pain. And you want to love him, but by the time you get to want to be near him to love him, the only guy you get to encounter is the guy that's in bullshit land, surrounded by the bullshit advocates who are he's using and exploiting. You can't feel bad for him because you see him for what he is.
Up to be a targeted individual in my own community when all I had done was
a targeted individual in your own community. Persecuted. Persecuted. Oh no. All you need to do for the persecution to stop is to stop participating in this world. But you'll never do that. You'll never do that because this is it's the drug. Don't tell me it's not a drug. Don't tell me you don't live for this. You live for this. You live for this. Absolutely, you live for this. That's why if there's no guests, you're going to name names.
Reach out for help. That's criminal. Setting anyone up to be a targeted individual is a criminal offense.
Is it? What I mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily know that it is, and I don't necessarily know what you're alleging that he did. I mean, I do not know what happened. And also, you know, you come here sans receipts. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Where was this? What did it happen? What forum was this? Who was this? When did it happen? Who was told? Who reacted? What was the nature of the harassment? What did they do? Did they keep you up at night? Did they break your windows? Did they do something to your cat? Did they send you a threatening email? Did they send you several threatening emails? What happened?
And since I am descended from those bloodline families,
everyone's descended from the blood. Remember the Illuminati bloodline? Other biker chick that was on Project Camelot. Hi, I'm Aaron Rothschild. She had the GoFundMe that made so much fucking money. She looked like friggin' someone that King Cobra GFS went in touch with fucking warlords, infested peen. It was crazy. Hey, we say hello to Prag Magic. What's going on, baby? Nuts.
Even though my family were not involved with them, he wanted people to kill people like me.
What are you because he wrote Bloodlines of the Illuminati. Now Penny Bradley's gonna say, because she's gonna say that she was descended from these Illuminati bloodlines, that Fritz Springmeier by extension was telling people to get her. Did he? What did he write? When did he write it? Do you have criminal charges against him? Did he make threats against you? Did he make credible life death threats against you? And if he didn't, what are you doing against him here? Because you're saying that he did something criminal against you. Well, I got to tell you something. There's also civil remedies that he might be able to raise against, people could raise against you, like defamation and libel. And I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just saying things, because if you're going to talk about things like criminal this, lady, come on. All's fair enough in war.
That's also a criminal offense, to call for the murder of anyone else.
Did he call for your murder? Because if someone calls for my murder, I'm not going to YouTube. If someone calls for my murder, I'm not going to YouTube. I'm going to the police. And if Fritz Springmeier calls for my murder, I'm not just going to YouTube and saying, hey, guess what Fritz Springmeier did? He did this. I'm showing you. Hey, guys, you want to know what Fritz Springmeier's up to? Bickety bam. And guess what? You wouldn't be on this show. You know where you'd be? You'd be on InfoWars with Alex Jones. Because if Fritz Springmeier, author of Bloodlines of the Illuminati, was throwing down death threats, guess what? You'd be on the news. Right? Get out of town. Get out. Yeah, Aaron Rothschild. looking like the third like extra from Sons of Anarchy, right? All I'm saying is, next time they pull into this town, they better watch out, because Sam Crow don't mess with that. That's a wrap. All right. What you guys doing after the set? I gotta get back to the Illuminati. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, that people fell for that shit. That's what I'm saying with the. I'm just gonna start being like, I'm just gonna come out and start saying shit because this is great.
Sorry, guys that are doing this about political figures, that can get you 5 years in prison. It's a Class C felony.
I can say things too, like Class D misdemeanor charge against the ramifications of Doubleday. I can say things like statutory ramifications of the charter of Massachusetts. You can't mess with that. Those are words.
So you need to think about that.
Seriously.
But Fritz Springmeier targeted me because I had already had 104 exorcisms and still had altars.
He targeted you because you had 104 exorcisms and still had altars. That's why he targeted you. That's why he targeted you. He targeted you because he had a problem because you had 104 exorcisms and still had altars. That's why he targeted you. That was his beef. That's what he said. Is that why he put the death threats against you? Because how dare you have 104 exorcisms and still have altars? You bitch. That makes no sense. That doesn't make any sense. Does that make sense to you? Is that what you meant to say?
That's wrong.
Oh, guys, by the way,
The
yo,
second
listen, check
one
this out.
was
Hold on, wait, not
Alfred
to be
Lambermont
this sort of
Weber.
whore, but I will be. Check this out. I may not have monetization. You cannot give me a super chat, but if you look at the description box below, I do have a PayPal. And you could also just hit the like, comment, and subscribe button. This is my alternative channel if you're not subscribed here. Also, you could just share the shit out of this on social media. I don't give a shit if like 10,000 people already shared this on social media and you've seen this already like retweeted twice, 5 times on your timeline. Retweet it again, okay? Not everyone that you follow follows everyone that you follower, okay? Yeah, everyone gets thrown. We're not going to be. Listen, folks. We are 18 minutes into her video, her 49-minute video. So we're like about halfway through her video, and I'm 2.5 minutes into this. We are doing this part one, part two. We are doing this part one, part two. We are doing this part one, part two. But I do have a Patreon. You support me there. It's for little dollar a month. And I also have a PayPal, which you give like unlimited funds to. You could give me enough money for 104 exorcisms, and I still got altars. Yeah.
He was in a group with me for several years until we got to the 3,000 member mark. And
oh, is this
Lambermont Weber?
Oh, here we go. We'll get so we'll hold it. We'll end on Alfred Lambermont Weber. Then we'll have to close out because for this section because we're at 18 minutes roughly. It's a 50-minute video. So okay, so we'll Alfred Lambermont Weber, right? End on a high note.
But Fritz Springmeier targeted me because I had already had 104 exorcisms and still had altars. That's wrong.
Tweet it again, David. I don't want to hear your bullshit.
The second one was Alfred Lambermont Weber.
Alfred Lambermont Weber throws everyone under the bus. Everyone gets thrown under the bus by Alfred Lambermont Weber. So Alfred Lambermont Weber goes under the bus himself. Meanwhile, only Alfred Lambermont Weber is only doing like Garantra book material now and promoting C60. He's the last guy promoting C60 with Patty Greer, and like the last C60 salesman left. Whatever happened to Cliff High?
He was in a group with me for several years until we got to the 3,000 member mark. And suddenly he thought we were a honeypot where he could make money off us.
Wait, okay. So you were in a group with Alfred Lambermont Weber. Again, you're trying to document the disclosure movement. Then you say you're in a group with people that you're naming names, but you don't tell us where this group was. Was it a Facebook group? Was it a forum group? Was it, oh, shoot. So sorry about that. So sorry. Brief interruption. Brief interruption. Brief interruption. No. Alfred is not the honeypot. Apparently, the honeypot is some mysterious group. I'm assuming it's a Facebook group, but apparently the allegation is this group got to 3,000, and then Alfred thought it was a honeypot where he could make money. But no, then he didn't think it was a honeypot. You're saying that he wanted to make it a honeypot, but that's not a honeypot. A honeypot is something is attractive, that's set up to attract people, to tempt them into doing something bad. Honeypotting is something different. She's mixing up terms. Here's pragmagic. Honeypotting, love bombing, all terms from jealous folks that you finally found a cult that works. Don't listen to them. There you go. Don't fall for CW. Here we go.
And to be perfectly honest, I was in bed asleep at the time the event happened.
She was in bed asleep at the time that the event happened. What?
Where one of the co-admins took down a post of his, and the founder of the group backed her on it. And
when the event occurred, when one of the co-admins took down a post of his, and the founder of the group backed her on it. So there's some see, this is how small and petty and silly this thing is. They're going to act like they're working towards a governmental exposure of disclosure. They're going to act like they're secret space program survivors. They're going to act like they're trying to get humanity to 5D. They're going to act like they're researchers on the cusp of real human breakthrough in the realms of advances in science and teledildonics and psionics and all this stuff. And behind the scenes, they're fighting like high schoolers at the AV club and at tech crew and the theater department. And what do those groups have in common? It's awkward. The sex and the romance is awkward. They don't know how to do it properly. There's no frisson. They're awkward. They don't know how to handle the bra straps and the cock and balls. They don't know how to get down, Oh.
And I wake up to the man cussing at me in Messenger.
Oh my God.
Telling me he's, quote, going to fuck me over.
Oh my God. Ah! Can you believe it? She's naming names. Alfred Lambermont Weber, he cussed her out. An admin, and here's my imitation of Alfred Lambermont Weber, because this is an admin. Hold on. I could probably do a decent Alfred Lambermont Weber. Hold on. You need the white button-down shirt, and you need the glasses. That's essentially it. What's the law school he went to? Was it Columbia? If I know the law school, I'll nail the impersonation. All I need to know is the law school. Because the biography keeps on changing. That's the thing with him. It's Alfred Lambermont Weber, the always changing biography. And now his hair's gotten incredibly long. He obviously doesn't have the beard. But he still has the same frenetic attitude. He also has a very distinct speaking style. So what I'm going to do is not meant to be an insult or to sound as though I'm making fun of someone with a speech impediment. Okay? But this is Alfred Lambermont Weber complaining about Penny Bradley, or this is what it would sound like on the other end of the text. Okay? I'm Alfred Lambermont Weber, and I'm a respected jurist. I was on a judge on the International Tribunal of Worldwide Human Rights, Jimmy Carter's 1975 Environmental Administration Reporting Society. My comment is taken down. Unacceptable. He would get upset. I could see him getting very, very upset. Very, very upset. Very upset. Very upset at having his comment taken down. Easily. You can easily see him getting upset. But we're going to see as this goes on. We're going to see because she says something that makes me think that she may be conflating different people, and we're going to see. We're going to see.
Well,
and again, remember, she started this video by saying that she wasn't going to talk about people that were just annoying her. She was only going to talk about people that had done things criminal. And so far, Alfred Lambermont Weber has cussed her out by messenger.
I'm still half asleep, so I responded in German that he wasn't good enough to fuck me.
in German because, you know, she was part of Nachtwaffen in the secret space program, which is for the cool German kids. I don't think this has anything to do with the fact that that Iron Sky movie came out around 2012. Do you?
So then he decided to take that quote and call it mind control. And suddenly I was a Nazi, and he was telling people that I was a Nazi and it was okay to kill me. And it turned out that he had just published a German language book version of his book, Dark Fleet.
Okay, now this is where that's what I mean. So the German version of his book, Dark Fleet. Did Alfred Lemma Weber write a book called Dark Fleet? He wrote what? Because also, if you don't want people calling you a Nazi, don't curse them off in German, especially because you're not a native German speaker. There is no reason for you to be cursing people off in German at all. Alfred Lemma Weber is a Cuban American now living in Canada for no reason. I don't know, whatever. Canada's fine. And you're, no offense, PWT, I love you, from California. God bless you. You're not German. Why are you cursing people off in German? It's because you have this fantasy now, probably for the last couple of years at most, of being part of this Nachtwaffen fantasy flight administration. Now, did Alfred Lamont Weber write a book called Dark Fleet? I don't know if he did. Yale. He went to Yale. But you know who might have written a book called Dark Fleet? Was another guy. Hold on. This is the guy. Official publisher page. Wrote a book called Omniverse. Okay. Look at his books. No, I don't know if he's got a book called. Let's see what he's written. He's written a book called A Revelation on the Life and Teachings of Jesus Christ. My Journey Landing. What is this called? Okay. A Revelation on the life and teachings of Jesus. My Journey Landing Heaven on Earth, Volume 2 by Alfred Lamont Weber. There's that. Okay, that's crazy. That's fine. There's the chronogarchy, how interdimensional quantum access time travel manipulates human events, human history, and the interlife. Okay. There's timelines of the chronogarchy, a novel, multidimensional novel. There's emergence of the omniverse universe. There's the omniverse. There's exopolitics, politics, government, and law in the universe. There's my journey landing heaven on earth. There's the dimensional ecology of the omniverse. And then there's the Levisque cases. Okay, but I don't see anything written called Dark Fleet. But hold on. But that name, I wondered if. So I don't know. But that sounds more like a book that might be written by a guy called Michael Salla, because Michael Salla was an exopolitics guy, but I don't think he's written a book called Dark Fleet. So I don't know. No, 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 no. Look, 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 look. Look at this. Here we go. Watch this. Watch this. I knew this was the case. I knew this was the case. Watch this. This is some bullshit. I think you fucked up. Watch this. I knew this was the case. There's no German versions of any Alfred Lamar Weber books available, but there is this German version of this Michael Salla book. I knew this was it. There's no Dark Fleet Weber book at all. There's no Dark Fleet book at all. It's this Michael Salla book. She's talking about Michael Salla. But that's an easy mistake to make because Michael Salla and Alfred Lamar Weber have been fighting like cats and dogs for years over who invented the words. Here we go. Who invented the term exopolitics? So it seems like she might be conflating Michael Salla and Alfred Lamar Weber because Die Gumen Walzerberger der US Navy and Die Luftwaffe. One of these words has got to be Dark Fleet because here's the German edition of this. Whatever. And then someone found the link to Jeff Petty, News Inside Out. Here's his response: YouTube libel and slander future self and Lamar Weber. Well, we gotta go to that. We'll do this. We'll do a double team. Here we go. So there you go. I knew that was gonna be the case. I knew that was gonna be the case. So Penny Bradley, don't like you're helping to document disclosure. You're not even helping to successfully document the people. Yeah, here we go. You're not even successfully documenting. You're not even successfully documenting. And no offense, you never missed a weekend. In 2 years, your Episcopal Church was able to get you your dose of exorcism without fail. You never missed a fucking weekend. You never missed a weekend. Never sick. Priest was never out. 52 weeks in a year, you had exactly 104 exorcisms. My sweet booty. You know what I mean? Whenever people come in with look, this is the same thing I did with Shane the Ruiner, with the first video that I did on Shane the Ruiner. Right? It's depositions. It's depositions and the analysis of answers to interrogatories. If your answer is too freaking perfect, your answer is not true. 2 years, 52 weeks in a year, and you have exactly 104 exorcisms to account for. Exactly. Every weekend, the priest was there to give you your exorcism. They had no problem with that. No problem. Oh, no baptisms. No baptisms at the Episcopal Church. We can go contact your Episcopal Church, even though the Episcopal Church does not have an official rite of exorcism, even though we saw that there would have to be some sort of rigmarole. They had no problem administering 104 exorcisms. And how much do we want to bet that what you're calling an exorcism, if it was that, was the priest going, oh, you need an exorcism? Okay. Though I walk through the shadow of death, I fear no evil. He did the fucking Lord's Prayer with you. Right? If that. And you're conflating Michael Salla with Alfred Lamar Weber, or you're making it up, or something, because we got you. Hold on, wait. I'm sorry. No offense. I love you, kiddo. But you know what I mean? When it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? When it happens, it happens. What I'm saying is the worst edit ever. Penny Bradley.
What I'm saying is We're going to find that person.
Yeah.
When we do find them, once we get them back, I'm going to give them right back to them. And
Really?
say, congratulations, you played yourself. What I'm saying is,
congratulations, you played yourself. That's it. You played yourself. You played yourself. You played yourself. It just is what it is, honey. You know what I mean? It's just God bless you. I mean, it is what it is. But you know, this is like the last rounds. You know what I mean? Like, congratulations. Like, this is it. We're doing it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is. And you're gonna tell me that you were going back for like 104 exorcisms, and the Episcopal priest wasn't like, hey, come on. Come on now. Come on now. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. When there's no official rite of exorcism in the Episcopal Church, there is no way that this. You've ever been to an Episcopal church? These guys and gals, you know what I mean? They are super serial, but like they're like, you know what I mean? They got a job to do and they take care of their congregation, but they don't fuck around. They're not Baptists. They're not like, you know what I mean? They're Episcopals. They're like, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, do. You know what I mean? Like, they don't, you know what I mean? They're not like, they don't light shit on fire. They don't light shit on fire. They don't light shit on fire. They don't like go crazy. You know what I mean? They don't like, really, they don't like go crazy about like, you know what I mean? They don't. This is nuts, lady. I love you, but you're making shit up. You're awesome, but you're making shit up. You can find us, show up with your Episcopal priest. God bless you.
Since I was the only Nachtwaffen veteran public at the time, he targeted me as part of his advertising campaign.
He targeted you as part of his advertising campaign? His advertising for his campaign for his book that he did not write? He did not write a book called Dark Fleet. There is no German book by Alfred Lamar Weber. So you're making a critical error here, Penny. There's a real problem here.
Now, I still have people contact me and tell me that man is saying I'm a Nazi. Now,
Penny, you're identifying yourself as part of something called Nachtwaffen. People are going to identify you as a Nazi because you're identifying yourself voluntarily as part of a secret space program that's supposed to be there's no way to identify this program as not being a breakaway from Nazi Germany, right? So you were a soldier. You were only following orders. What? I mean, it's still going to creep people out. Oh, and by the way, people are going to always have questions about it because, dude, on planet Earth, people are also always going to know and understand that you're identifying with a program voluntarily that's this bizarre program that no one thinks is real because it's not real. It's not real, dude.
Any common sense knows that that's asking for me to be killed.
It's not asking for you to be killed. Stop it. Listen. We can all interact in this, and no one is having anybody killed. This is why Emery Smith was able to tell David Wilcox, dude, no one's going to blow up this plane. Relax. Shut up. Have a shot. Do you need a pill? Relax.
That's illegal. That's wrong. It's also a big fucking lie. Politically, I'm an Eisenhower Republican.
You can't be an Eisenhower Republican because Eisenhower is dead. There's no such thing as an Eisenhower Republican because Eisenhower is dead. Therefore, and that was an era that is gone. What year were you born? You just like to say that because people like to say Eisenhower and Eisenhower, by the way, is the guy that was supposed to sign the contracts with the aliens that was going to let them abduct people. Oh no, but Laura Eisenhower is supposed to be a good gal now, so we're going to resurrect and we're going to change Eisenhower because now the Republicans are the good guys. JFK was a good guy, so the Democrats. It's so stupid. This is all the whole thing. We're all just making up stories, so it doesn't matter.
Look that up.
No, I'm not going to look up anything. You look it up. You don't know what a Republican, an Eisenhower Republican is, because the only thing you're going to look up is propaganda from Republicans at the time. Meanwhile, Eisenhower, like most of the white Republicans of his era, was not a guy I'd want to hang out with. Homophobic, racist, capitalist, propagandist, son of a bitch. Couldn't share his toys with those less fortunate than he was. Oh, a military man. And like most military men, was responsible for the death of untold thousands and thousands of innocent people. Didn't like him.
But people are still believing his shit. Now,
no, how dare they?
Number three.
They should when they should believe your shit, right?
I don't know what the man's real name is because I've been told at least 3 different aliases.
Like Michael Salla?
One is Austin Bunton. The one that he was on my show as is Abe Reus.
Okay, now she's gonna go on to somebody else. So we're at the 21-minute mark, and she just did Alfred Lambermont Weber incorrectly. So why don't we go to Alfred Lambermont Weber's rebuttal, and we'll read that. So let me go to this will be fine. How am I doing so far? Are you guys enjoying the show? Am I okay? Ay. Okay, so look, I mean, what I would ideally, what I would have loved to do was just, have stayed on Penny Bradley's, good side. So I'm approximately, I guess I'm 20 at the 20-minute mark. So I think I'm probably, oh, happy birthday to Intel Lady. It's Intel Lady's birthday weekend, a friend of the show, great channel. Go ahead and subscribe to Intel Lady if you're not already. If you like the sort of stuff we do over here, I'm sure you'll love Intel Lady. Always giving the wacky thinkers a what for. Intel Lady. I'm also a fan of her woo-woo centric channel as well that you can get to from her whatever channel, her non-woo-woo. Happy birthday to you. Let me get to the thing. Excuse me. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Factual response to Penny Bradley's YouTube libel and slander of futurist Alfred Lambermont Weber. The opinions of Alfred Lambermont Weber are his own. They are not presented as fact. They are just presented as blah, blah, blah. We're just yada. Here we go. June 15th, 2002 by Alfred Lambermont Weber. 2 comments. I wonder. Naming names, YouTube. I lost it when my friend Salman Sheikh had his life threatened by someone I had on my show. I have held my peace, blah, 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 blah. There's something wrong with this one. She names you. You don't deserve this discrediting. Factual response to Penny Bradley's YouTube libel and slander of futurist Alfred Lambermont Weber. Watch on YouTube. Okay. Full news inside out coverage. Okay. Vancouver, British Columbia. Okay, here we go. What? Alfred, thank you. I will take a look. I have no recollection of any untoward incident with Penny Bradley in Light and Life. Alfred. Okay, so what? He doesn't remember it? Friend, I wouldn't be surprised if nothing ever happened between the two of you and her. Disillusionment occurred entirely in her mind. She has said very strange things about our organization and even talked about our organization as if she worked for us. Something in her is very unbalanced. Look, I don't know what this is. Hey. All we know is that Alfred apparently is saying that, thank you, I'll take a look. I have no recollection of any untoward incident. We already looked at Penny Bradley saying that this incident involved him saying, a person saying, accusing her of being a Nazi, and then saying, using as propaganda about their book, a German version of their book, Dark Fleet. Alfred Lambermont Weber has not written a book called Dark Fleet, but a book by other exopolitic expert Michael Salla that does have a German version that could be conflated as saying Dark Fleet was. So she might be conflating Alfred Lambermont Weber with Michael Salla. If that's a distinct possibility. Anyway, this seems to be his response talking about defamation. What is Alfred Lambermont Weber talking about defamation? What is defamation? Defamation is a false statement presented as a fact that causes injury or damage to the character of a person. Is about example is Tom whatever. I'm not gonna read it. His excerpt from Penny Bradley video naming names, June 14th, 2022. Summary keywords: asleep, man, targeted, talk, German language, exorcisms, Nazi, wrong, suddenly, aliases, alters, telling, pushy, silence, assholes, Eisenhower founder, criminal motives, politically, Penny Bradley. I'm going to name names today. I have been advised not to. What? Is this the whole fucking transcript? The second one was Alfred Lambermont Weber. He was in a group with me several years until we got to the 3,000 member mark, and suddenly he thought we were a honeypot where he could make money off us. And to be perfectly honest, I was in bed asleep at the time the event happened, where one of the co-admins took down a post of his, and the founder of the group backed her on it. And I wake up to the man passing it on Messenger, telling me he's, quote, going to fuck me over. I'm still having sleep, so I respond in German that he wasn't good enough to fuck me. So he decided to take that quote and call it mind control. And suddenly I was a Nazi, blah, 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 blah. What is it? I've told at least 3 different analysis. What? And then that's it? Oh, no, then he gives his books. Alfred Lambermont Weber has not published a book entitled Dark Fleet, as maliciously and falsely alleged by Penny Bradley. Internet search shows has not been on Penny Bradley's show and has not interviewed Penny Bradley. Is a tribunal judge on a tribunal of conscience? I told you that. Objective person. Well, there you go. Objective person with knowledge and experience of Penny Bradley stated, I wouldn't be surprised if nothing ever happened between the two of you and her. Disillusionment occurred entirely in her mind. She has said very strange things about our organization, even talked about our organization as if she worked for us. Something in her is very unbalanced. Therefore, there is some circumstantial evidence that the alleged group post episode that Penny Bradley alleged about Alfred Lambermont Weber, in fact, did not take place and is yet another fabrication of a malicious defamation of Alfred Lambermont Weber on YouTube by Penny Bradley. There you go. Polygraph justice. I'm curious. Hold on. So you know what I mean? So I guarantee you she's conflating Alfred Lambermont with Michael Salla. But unfortunately, that's a big mistake, especially for a person who's saying that, she's chronicling things correctly, or she's doing some sort of work for, disclosure. It's a big problem, right? It's a big problem. Now, I'm not saying, I don't know that. It's just automated sadness by mail. I don't know how you do that though. That's a big mistake to make. Unless you know that the guy that came after you is the exopolitics guy, and then you go in exopolitics, and you come up with Alfred Lambermont Weber. We'll see what happens next, and it just keeps on going. It just keeps on going. So we'll see how it happens, and we'll see what goes on, and we'll see if there's a reaction from Penny Bradley. Look, I made a video talking about Ivan Teller, and then Ivan Teller channeled the toy maker, the toy maker energy, and the notion that the toy maker who just happen to also go back and forth between being the toy maker and the toy collector. The notion that the guy that also collects toys and is also the guy that criticizes the channeler, then all of a sudden that channeler starts channeling the toy maker energy, toy collector energy, that is the notion that that's just coincidental is ridiculous, right? So whatever, but whatever, it is what it is. So this is life on planet Earth. I guess I'll do if these videos can happen, and I don't think they can happen all the time because look, folks, you know, when you would get a guy like David Wilcock who was making these videos that would have like, these like claiming to have these 100,000 views, and he's the executive producer on Ancient Aliens. There's a certain kind of brouhaha, and it kind of makes sense to cover it. And there's but when we get down and the only people left are these like guys, it does become like this kind of like it becomes this kind of low cow culture, right? Where it's like if I'm gonna do this style of video, it's like why aren't I gonna just make the decision to cover a guy like Chris Chan or like Wings of Redemption or like DSP and go for like the teenagers or the video game guys, like like the only reason to cover these guys is just to make it like pure hilarity. And but I don't really like it's not really fun to like I don't want to like, hurt people. You know what I mean? So it's like we're doing this, but like I said, like, like I really think this is really like, folks, I'm honest here. Like it's not just me. Like people like got angry at me because I stopped like doing the sort of stuff that I was usually doing. But I'm telling you, like, folks, it's like I can't do the stuff I was usually doing because the stuff that I was usually doing is over. It's like even when Steven comes back, it's like, what do you think? I'm telling you, the UFO shit's gonna dry up too. You know what I mean? Like A-tip and the Tic Tac UFO, like that resurgence is only gonna carry people for so long. Like Lou Elizondo. Like how long do you think the Lou Elizondo juice is gonna last? You know what I mean? I don't know. What do I know? I mean, maybe it's a perpetual burn. Maybe it's gonna last like that long for forever. Maybe it lasts forever. I don't know. Maybe what do I know? Maybe it's just like around the corner. Maybe the next thing's going to be like right around the corner. And something's going to blow up. It's going to be huge. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know everything. I certainly don't know the future, right? I can't predict the future. Anyway, for now, we got this. For now, we got this. We got part one. I guess we got a part two coming up. And the part two, she already talked about Fritz Springmeyer and Alfred Lamar Weber. I got to tell you, folks, she hit the high points. What she's going to cover next are these guys, like she's going to talk about this. Oh, Billy Meyer? Is Billy Meyer still alive? Come on. Michael Horn, are we going to go there? That's dead. That's what I'm talking about, folks. Really? Like, I talk and people are coming back and people are saying things like, I wish you talk about Dr. Stephen Greer. And I was like, I talked about Dr. Stephen Greer when he did his last public performance. And that was like 7-8 months ago. Folks, it's over. David Bucky, I think max there's 200 people interested in UFO culture. I'm telling you, folks, guys, you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed at what the actual size is. Oh, it's going to be Douglas Dietrich, Brando. The threatening of Solomon it's going to be Douglas Dietrich. Yeah, it would be three bosses today. No, I'm telling you. And yeah, we could always go to Umo says Elvis is alive and Paul is dead. We might be able. The next thing we could do is, if we wanted to, we could go over to Mike Williams's Paul is Dead channel. There's that, but I'm telling you, that's just us reading the Billy Meyer book. I mean, the Billy Meyer book. Yeah, the Billy Shears book. I apologize. Anyway, a tarot card for Day Stream. Penny, I'm not against you. You're another human being on planet Earth. I'm a human being on planet Earth. We dance this dance. We dance this dance. Golden Coin 100. We dance this dance. We dance this dance. What's your response going to be? You can respond. That's Shane. And meanwhile, the other guy, the guy that, all the other stuff, where are you going to go with this? Your name is Mud now, right? Because you offended and upset all these people, so you can't even go down. You can't take the elevator down. The Fulford guy, is Benjamin Fulford still around? I don't know. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these people, for my own mental health, I said, I'm done with this scene. I'm out of here. I don't need these guys anymore. So I unsubscribed. So you unsubscribe to all these people, and it's like they disappeared. And then when these people started to disappear to places like Rumble, I was like, forget it. I'm not covering them. I'm not following these people around. Penny's running the big diss. We got the Osho Zen Tarot with us. So we got the 14th Trump, right? This is the 14th. The Osho Zen Tarot always plays with me. Michelle Embry's here. When Reemsey's here, he holds my hand. The Osho Zen Tarot, because it's not a traditional tarot deck, always throws me for a loop and always gives me shaky feet. I'm always thinking I'm going to screw up the cards. This is the traditional tarot deck. The 14th Trump is temperance, right? And here it's integration. Kind of on the nose. Maybe this makes sense for me and Penny, right? We're coming together. We're trying to pull it together. We're trying to fit it together. We're trying to make the pieces fit. Maybe this makes sense because there's been a period for me now, going back to 2015, going back and looking at the origin of my channel, thinking about thinking about those first starting points of breaking down and going into temptation and covering Shane, and that first sit down and interview with Shane and all that funniness and wackiness of those early days and this early adventure and all this, going thinking how important this thing was and how crazy we all got about this thing, and where I thought this thing was going, the fantasies and all this stuff, and reflecting on it, you put it in perspective. And you take those illusions and you compare them to the reality. You see how you got it wrong, but you see how you could get it wrong that way. You see, oh, well, I see how it was that I was able to see it that way. And you forgive yourself. You start to realize how it worked, and why it makes sense that you got here from there. How the whole journey kind of worked in together. And you see Penny at this point. You see how things how the party winds down to there. You got to clean up. You got the time where it's all going crazy and people are smashing the drinks and the silverware against and the plates against the fireplace. That's fun. That's wild and symbolic of, we don't give a damn. It's for morning. We're going to clean that shit up. Dun, da, da, the cock crows and it's time to break out the brooms and the sweeps. It's time to integrate those broken plate pieces with the trash bag. You know what I mean? It's time to reunite the refuse with the garbage pail. Right? Working it out. Trying to see how the grand adventure can fold back into the folds of the milder days. Because it's not always rock and roll adventures. It's not every day isn't the typhoon roller coaster. Sometimes we break for lunch. Sometimes we take a swing around the lazy river, right? It gives ourselves a break. We'll see you next year, folks. Break for a season. They run reruns during the summer. Go outside, play, right? Be time enough for that next year. There'll be something else. But for now, a little bit of calmness, a little bit of working it out, a little bit of getting it together. And then, my friend, you die. Maybe she will channel that experience. She doesn't channel. She doesn't believe in that shit. Come on now. Don't get it twisted, Michelle. Channeling is for those religious douchebags. Psychic science is for the real deal people. We kid because we love. We really do. I'm not motivated by maliciousness. It may seem and sound like that at times, but I'm really just trying to get at it. And we're really honestly, what I really want is for people that are, it's a good thing that we busted this shit up. It's a good thing that cats know that this is less of a viable option. Before, people made it a habit of pointing at this world and pointing out and mocking this behavior. These guys and gals were just doing this shit with impunity and having a grand old time. And I could tell you, since people started pointing this out and mocking and making fun, there's been a distinct downplay. Because the pure scamola guys, not the guys that were guys and gals that are true paranoid, affected and afflicted, targeted individuals, but the people that were just trying to make a buck and trying to do the scam, no, they can't, because they know they're going to come out here and they're going to do this and they're going to get the shit embarrassed out of them because me, or what I mean, or Smoke King, is going to come and go put them up on the screen, or Michael on the Arrows, or Steven is going to throw them up on the screen and say, look at this fucking asshole. And that's a good thing. Because that means that person is going to have to say to themselves, well, gee, I guess I'm going to have to go get a job. I guess I'm not just going to be able to come out here and do I didn't want to do this. It's no other choice. I guess I have to tell the truth. I've been awake 2 days. They're after me. I had to say. Started waking up 2012. And then I realized something bigger happening. That fucking bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Journey to the Truth podcast. I think I saw some of that shit. What's an SCA? Scam Journey to Truth. Maybe I'll check them out. What's their bullshit? I think I saw that. I think I saw some of their crap. Journey to Truth podcast. Oh. No, but only, what is this? 28.5 thousand subscribers. Oh. Discussing the journey towards full disclosure for business inquiries. All over it. Gab, Stitcher, Odyssey, BitChute. So that's that. Joined 3 years ago, and they're already at 28.5 thousand subscribers. Okay, that's cool. Well, I guess they're making their moves. Oh, Hard True. Oh, so they're affiliated with all the good people. All the good people, like Michael Salla and Alex Collier and Laura Eisenhower. So you're associated with these people and yet you have this many subscribers? Oh, they got a store. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's affiliate. Oh, they got Journey to Truth and they're affiliated with all this shit. The world as we know it is shifting into something unrecognizable and confusing in a number of ways. Right now, we are witnessing the cocktail timelines. Wait, the endless awakenings of Tyler Kaiwala. When did they get their start? They got their start right around the same time that what's his face, the other channel, got axed. Oh, he was associated, formerly associated with Portal to Ascension. He's got a Jason Cas. Oh, this guy. Okay, great. This is biography. No biography, no featured events. Whatever, dude. I don't know. Whatever. It's okay. Is that him? Wait, hold on. Oh, that's him. Oh, that's him. Is that him? Oh, I found his mugshot, in case you're curious. So I think you got a DUI, but that's okay. It's no big deal. Yeah, it's definitely him because it's the same birthday and the same. That's fine. Whatever, dude. No big deal. That's life. Doesn't mean that you're not ascended. I mean, I think it's him. Rockfin, the usual shit. It's no big deal. Eh, who cares? No one awesome ever came from St. Louis. That's what I say. Ew. Ew. Aaron Kuhn is a researcher, activist, and podcaster in the Disclosure Awakened community. He went through his awakening in 2012 and began expanding his awareness of reality, growing spiritually and learning about ETs and the true nature of the universe. So he's been at this for 10 years. Congratulations, loser. After meeting Tyler Koala at a conference in 2018, they both started the Journey to Truth podcast. Congratulations. Oh, God. Oh, God. Ew. No, these guys skeeved me. So yeah, maybe I'll cover these guys. They're botted up the wazoo. There's no fucking way. All these guys are botted. There's no way. I mean, this is all bullshit. But whatever, we'll see. You know, the rule is basically if you got X, there's no way. If you got X number of channels, you're botted. There's no way. No offense. No offense. 50,000 subscribers in 3 years in this world with Laura Eisenhower interviews, you're botted. You're botted. You say you're not botted? Okay, not a problem. So you'd have no problem. You'd have no problem talking to me, and you'd have no problem talking to me after I consult with an expert on the questions to ask people to determine whether or not they're using viewbots. Right? Inquiring minds want to know. They have all the guests. They have all the guests. Here we go. Do 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 do. Say Journey to Truth podcast. I love everything's a podcast. Let's listen to this podcast. It's a podcast. Videos. And I want to see the. Oh, look at this. You've got 28.5 thousand viewers, but look at your crap. Oh, no. Here we go. Share screen. Now, why am I doing this? Why am I turning a 3.5 hour video into a 4 hour video? We've already done the thing. Let's just one more time. This is it. Hold on. This is it. And then we're out. Okay. Okay, here we go. Ed Spina, Navy whistleblower part 4. Who's the Navy whistleblower? It's some anonymous person. Montauk Memories and Max Spears Connections. There's no Montauk. There's no Montauk. So Dr. Sharmel, I guess I'll cover this. And Max Spears was just a poor drug addict. Isn't that a shame that drug addicts die of drug related things? Tony Rodriguez, another person with a completely made up story, largely stolen right out of Whitley Strieber's Whitley Strieber's book, just taken right out of there. Here we go. Starseeds Among Us. Why is this Navy whistleblower got 39,000 views, but all the other ones have? Johann Fritz. This guy's great. He's terrible. He's the worst. He's one of the worst. Oh, are you kidding me? 12,000 views on Johann Fritz. You're kidding me. That's nonsense. You're telling me that Johann Fritz got. Oh, okay. This is great. Oh, this is fine. So we'll cover these people. Jessica Jones and Mike Pat. Okay. Okay. So we got this source. This is all crap. So we'll play this game. We'll play this game with these people then if we wanted to. They got Penny Bradley. Wonderful. Wonderful. Eva Logren. Wonderful. Justin Duchamps. We could explore the wonderful connection between him, Robert David Steele, and the guy who sued me, maybe. Jason Quitt. Oh, wonderful. Jason Quitt. From 5 months ago, yet it's from 2019. Interesting. Brad Olson. Tony Rodriguez again. The late Clifford Mahooty. Okay. Oh, this is the one. Everyone loves her. Marina Seren. Everyone loves her because she's beautiful. James Bartley. James Bartley is great. James Bartley is a one of these secret space program people. Not secret space program. Don't get it twisted. But he'll tell you things like he'll sometimes be in like CVS or like a department store, and he'll get a sudden urge to take to one knee and want to like draw an imaginary gun on like a person in the store. That's great. That doesn't make me freaked. Oh, look at all these people. Oh, wonderful. Great. Oh, sweet. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Well, great. So it doesn't, like I said, even this. So wonderful. You have 28.5 thousand subscribers. But what does it mean, Alfie, when you have 4.8 thousand views on this one? I don't get it. When you have 4.8 thousand views on some videos, but all of a sudden the video with no one of note, but just some random Navy whistleblower, uncredited person gets 19,000 views. That's what I call the bots. That's what I call the bots. But anyway, it is what it is. Who knows? Who knows? What do I know from bots? What do I know? I could be just paranoid. Not paranoid is not the word. I could just be accusing people of things. Who knows? I love you. I love you. I love you. Nobody told they loved you today. Somebody just did. That's somebody's CW chanter. Think of that what you will, because you will. You already have, probably. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Until then.